The Dropsite Massacre is one of the most infamous battles during the Horse Heresy, as brother turned against brother, and 3 loyalist legions, the Salamanders, Iron Hands, and Raven Guard, were shattered. But today, we're not here to relive the betrayal or the horror of the Dropsite Massacre. We're here to settle something far more important. Who was actually the strongest Primarch during Istvan 5? So yes, that means we're counting Fulgrim with the Lair Blade, Lorgar, fresh off awakening his psychic powers, and Horus rocking the infamous post-Davin buff. And thank heavens, I will not be doing this alone. I've got some of the most unhinged power scalers from my Discord, Cow's Barnyard, helping me rank every Primarch at this time during the Horse Heresy. We'll be using statements, excerpts, and fights from across the Horse Heresy and 40k in general to help us rank each and every single one of these degenerate space babies. This continues a series where we rank every Primarch across every major battle or era. We started with base Primarchs, which means them at their unaltered, unamped states during the Great Crusade, and we're going to continue going through all of them across Warhammer 40k until we reach the very end and then rank every single form across the entire setting.
Oh my god! Wow!
Holy cow, that's a lot of power scaling. But without any further ado, let's jump straight into the cow hole. Say it with me, my beloved herd. It's time to power scale. Hello, it is your favorite Fallen Cow back with another video, and today we're going to be ranking every single Primarch from the time of the Dropsite Massacre, so that includes the Primarchs present at Istvan 5 and those that weren't, like Guilliman or Rogel Dorn. Now we're going to start with doing Istvan 5 only Primarch rankings first, and then we'll do all of them afterwards. I'm here with some beloved power scaling cows. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
You know, I'm Crabzilla, the weapon guy.
I'm
ZBK. Oh my god.
Great job,
Yeah,
guys.
I'm ZBK.
So we're gonna be starting with only Dropsite Massacre Primarchs. So that is, we have 3 variations of Fulgrim. We'll do Perturabo, Conrad Kurz, Ferrus Manus, Angron, Alfarius, and Omegon, Corvus Corax, Vulcan, Horus, Lorgar, and Mortarion. So let's first start with base Fulgrim. That's an easy high Primarch, right, guys? We'll figure out the rankings later, but he is a high Primarch candidate,
yeah,
correct?
It's
Yeah.
Okay.
Go Grim.
So now Lair Blade obviously is stronger than base Fulgrim, right? We can agree with that.
And then possessed.
Well, actually, no.
Well, actually. Now here comes the tough part: is possessed Fulgrim. Do we think possessed Fulgrim is weaker than actual Fulgrim? I would say yes.
I personally do. Yeah.
Right. So the only problem is post-possessed Fulgrim has like insane regeneration and has psychic powers that can crush a Titan. Do we think possessed Fulgrim also has those powers, or do you think he only learned it from the demon after he was freed of his possession?
I think it's just like 2 entirely different types of powers, you know?
Well, actually, I think I can find the excerpt where is what he does to the Titan. I'm pretty sure what he says to Lucius, because Lucius asks him about the powers. He's like, well, could I ever learn to do something like that? And Fulgrim's like, oh, I suppose you could, son. I suppose you could. But, yeah, he talks about it and he's like, I think he says, it's something that I picked up from the forces that empower me now, or something like that. Which makes me think it's more of the
post-possession buff. Do you think he didn't have those powers when he was possessed, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it's something that Fulgrim learned.
Do you think he's
I also think
down here?
Lower. No.
No.
I don't know about all that. Mid, at least, you can low-key maybe just put him right behind, Fulgrim. The thing is, him being possessed as well, the demon's not used to Fulgrim's body like he is. It's still Fulgrim, but he's way less optimal than Fulgrim playing around already is. So it's he's still not super bummy, but it's definitely not as good as normal Fulgrim.
I would agree. But are there any feats at all for this variation of Fulgrim? Because he gets freed off screen, right?
Doesn't he get bitched by Lorgar? At some point, Lorgar bitches him and he's like, you're not my brother.
Get out of my brother's body.
I don't think he roared after saying that.
So get out of here, man. That was
Dramatic flare.
I mean, put him in mid because he still get Fulgrim's body. And
Yeah,
then you're better than Gilliman by default.
yeah, better than McGillivan by default right there. Let's just leave it a mid for right now, and we'll circle back to that. Okay, Perturabo,
Yeah.
I'd say
Okay.
probably better than Fulgrim Possessed in mid tier. What do we think?
I can see that.
He's got no
Yeah.
feats besides the Demon Primarch Angron fight.
That's
I
not
think he'll
crazy
just-
to put
I
him
think he'll
there.
just shoot you in the chest 50,000 times with an auto cannon.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of
Yeah.
Primarchs in mid can deal with that.
Yeah,
And also, post-possession Fulgrim is just like using the non-possessed Layer Blade.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's a master-crafted power sword, but it's like, I don't think it's going to be super effective against Perturabo's armor.
yeah. that's
Especially
fair.
with the
Argue.
fire blade, like base Fulgrim with the fire blade too, like his fire blade, even without the layer blade, low key. Yeah, I don't think possessed Fulgrim can do much versus him.
fair. Okay.
You might be
okay.
able to even argue in character, Perturabo would just nuke you from orbit, and we can put him in top.
True. I was gonna say Loki
Let's-
Perturabo is one of
Let's,
those
let's
products
add,
that
a,
goes
let's add
from like
another tier above top and
mid.
make it.
Yeah,
planetary.
tactical nuke Perturabo.
Perturabo goes from mid to like top Primarch Loki, because I don't know if any of the Primarchs can deal with him with prep time and him shooting you in the chest like 50
Is-
million times.
Is
but-
Perturabo
I've got
the
Gilliman.
Batman of Primarchs, guys? Does he win every single fight with prep time? As
Oh,
Exactly.
if we're talking a one-on-one fight, yeah, I thought we were talking like a Legion versus
Vulcan
Legion.
takes it.
But yeah, probably.
all right,
He probably does just like tell you he's somewhere and then leave a nuke there.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen. Let's get back on topic. Conrad Kurz. This is gonna be the first hard one. Do we think
Are we
Conrad
saying
Kurz
Kurz
is-
turned on?
Yeah, we're saying full height of Conrad Kurz's power. Yeah, turned on like ZBK.
Crazy
said.
way to say it.
Well, no, okay, well, you know.
Yeah, worded that crazy, but he's hot. He's Loki. I think, is he above Layer Blade, bro? Like, I guess that depends on the Lion scaling. If we get the Lion above Layer Blade
I
Fulgrim,
think-
then
I think the thing that gives Lion the edge against Blade Fulgrim is strength, and I just don't think. I think Layer Blade Fulgrim throwing Ferris back, even though he was surprised. I think he was surprised, so that did play into it. But I think him throwing Ferris Manus back means he might just be too strong for
Yeah.
low key true.
Conrad.
He's
Conrad's
Also, it
like-
does enhance his reflexes, which, like,
yeah.
it would kind
Yeah.
of be a bit of a counter to precognition, because it's like, and his speed,
Yeah.
which is also OD. So it's like,
I'm not
Conrad
gonna
just
lie,
really
yeah.
doesn't have anything to stand on.
Conrad kind of a little chub, bro. Like, he literally Space Marine level strength, literally Space Marine level strength, and he was using his precog versus like Polix, by the way, and it was like super precog and still getting countered. So
Yeah,
we could
you know
really
what-
get hot takes here and put Fulgrim above Conrad if we really want to do that. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
See,
know why.
that's
Let's
the-
relax.
see,
Let's
that's the-
relax.
That's the funny thing, guys, is
You
Conrad
look
Kurz
at all
is
that.
fighting Gilliman and the Lion and holding his own, and then he fights a Space Marine like right before that, and he can't beat him. Like that's like the weirdest
Yeah.
contrast ever.
Sometimes he's really good and sometimes he's really bad. Korak says this. He's like, sometimes you literally stink.
Literally, I don't.
That's
I
why
don't
we had to
all the
specify that he's turned on.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, because if we're taking it, because if we're okay, well let's move past that, everybody. If we're saying this is the Conrad that's like jumping in and out of the shadows fast that the Lion can't track him and using precog, I don't know if Fulgrim beats that. Like, I don't know if you put Fulgrim in the same situation. I don't know if he beats that.
I
think he
don't
might
think he
actually get his
would.
head cut
I
off.
don't
That's
think he
true.
would.
That's true.
I
If it's
agree.
like
I don't
Super
think base
Conrad,
Fulgrim
yeah.
would.
I think base Fulgrim
Super
is just.
Fulgrim, I mean Super Conrad, I don't think does.
I think Fulgrim is just naturally behind Conrad, just because of the precognition, and I think
Yeah.
I think Fulgrim would try to rely on his dueling ability, but would simply be outclassed by Conrad. But I don't think the
If it,
layer
yeah,
blade.
it's Super Conrad, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the layer blade. I think the layer blade would beat Conrad though, because he'd be faster, stronger. His reflexes would be amped. He would be able to actually stand up to precog, and thus I think he'd beat him.
Oh,
think
you
that's-
got beat by a Space Marine countering your precog? Just wait until I counter your precog. It's over.
Quickest comment ever. It's so crazy Curse doesn't have any chaos enhancements. I can't imagine what he would do.
So do we? Okay, so
Yeah.
there's
Dude,
always
yeah,
that.
dude.
You know, like the post-Dav and Horus shit. Do we really think that Conrad never gained any chaos buffs throughout the Horse Heresy?
Yes,
Don't
he's
they
literally the one
see
who
him
said
and
he
go,
doesn't.
"You're a weird schizo. We don't like you." And then
Yeah,
they
he's
Yeah,
literally the
yeah.
one who
Anything.
straight up said he would
Games
never
Workshop.
take it. He's not like Morty where he's like, I would totally not want the chaos buffs right now. He's not like Mortarion or such. And he's not like Purdy where he's like Malden about it, but still wants to use it for strength. Conrad is the only one who straight up was like, that chaos and warp stuff is weird. I don't want the tank like my brothers do. He's like the only one with no chaos juice at all, which is insane. But
Yeah.
Guy wearing
Well, I
baby
think it
skin.
makes sense
We probably
because-
shouldn't mess with that. You think that should have been the prime
Yeah, they should
detector
try-
for it being bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Well,
I
I think it's
this is
because
fair.
Conrad dying. I think it's because Conrad dying was an inevitability. Like, he was always going to get himself killed, so it's like, there's not really an investment for any of the gods.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
yeah, and he also was like, he actively hated the like gods. He didn't want anything to do with any of the chaos stuff. Like, he just didn't. He said he was going to rebel most likely anyways. Besides that, like, him and Angron might have rebelled besides the whole chaos thing. So he didn't really want chaos juice at all.
No, yeah. No, he really didn't. Yeah. So that's honestly, it's so crazy that he didn't gain a single buff and he's still this strong. What a lad. What a lad. Okay. Okay. Fireblade Ferris
Imagine if he
Manus.
got a form like
This is
Korax.
where it gets fucking hard, gentlemen. Fireblade Ferris Manus. So this is Ferris Manus with simply the Fireblade attachment, and everything else about him. He loses to Lairblade Fulgrim, but he does pretty much beat base Fulgrim in their second fight, but he also loses their first fight. So
Wasn't
I
this
think
also
you
like
have to put
Sad
him
Boy
beside
Fulgrim?
I think you have to put him beside Fulgrim.
Yeah.
like here,
Wasn't this
high?
also like
Yeah,
Sad
I
yeah.
put him right behind Fulgrim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
good.
agree right
Because
there.
it's a 50-50. Basically, their fight record was 1-1. That's as relative as it gets.
Yeah, it really does. And you could
You
make
even
the
argue that he's nerfed because he's using a different weapon than he's used to.
but isn't
Yeah.
Fireblade better than Forgebreaker, especially in like a dueling setting?
I
Yeah.
guess, but like but Ferris is way more used to using a Forge Breaker. Like
Yeah.
he's way more accustomed to it. You could also argue like Fulgrim was nerfed because he was like Sad Boy, but you know.
Also, generally speaking, I mean, obviously it's Warhammer. They're all super strong, but Warhammers are harder to parry with swords because they're so like top heavy versus sword to sword. Fulgrim, that might be able to have an advantage, but again, Ferris still beats him in that fight. So.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He straight up beats him. It's 1v1.
Fulgrim's
Yeah,
on the weaker end too. Yeah, Fulgrim's on the weaker end. Ferris, like I'll straight up think he might be a little bit nerfed with the Fireblade because with Forge Breaker, you got a top 2 strength Primarch hitting you with versus Fulgrim, who's one of the weaker Primarchs. He felt like he could barely even parry Ferris at all, which is kind of crazy.
yeah.
I
That's-
honestly, looking at the Fulgrim versus Ferris fight, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really think that Fulgrim is as weak as like physically as I previously thought he was, because he's putting in work with a hammer, and it's like
yes,
a
it's
warhammer isn't a finesse weapon.
no. So that's the weird thing. It's like I originally thought that Fulgrim wasn't really trying or anything like that, but when you really read the text, it never explicitly says that, and it's more just like they're evenly matched. Like they're really evenly matched until he gets the Lair Blade upgrade, and then he just defeats him. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and you just know diff.
Yeah. Well, would you say it's a no div? Maybe like a low div. I don't know if he just like straight
I think it was low diff, but I think Ferris is at that point like that they are tired by that point, and we see even though Space Marines can fight each other for hours, and then sometimes Primarchs can fight each other for days. When they're really trying to kill each other, their fights aren't that long before they start getting tired. Like even
They be, like,
Jagged
minutes
Eye starts
long.
getting tired against Mortarion. Like in their fight, I don't even
Yeah.
think their fight's like an hour.
No,
Yeah.
literally in like Scars, they're fighting for like moments, and then Khan's like, "Damn, I'm fucking gassed already, bro. Fuck,
I'm winded.
I'm winded right
Because
now."
they really gotta try hard, bro. So it burns the energy way faster.
Yeah, bro. These guys need to train some long distance sprints. I don't think their stamina's very strong. All right, so
I'm
do we think?
arguing when he
And
even
then-
wins because he just outstamina all the Primarch.
Yeah, literally. So do we think this is? I think this is solid so far.
Yeah, I think this is good.
This is gonna get
Yeah,
really
this is
hard
good.
when we add everyone else. This is gonna get really hard.
Oh yeah.
We didn't. Okay, but Angron. Do we think? I think Angron's over Kurz. Do we
Yeah,
think he's
yeah.
over Lair Blade Fulgrim?
That's
Mm,
a tough.
Honestly, no.
I'm saying no. Does anyone disagree with that?
The way I see it, bruh, Angron would beat Fulgrim normally because of his overwhelming strength in comparison to Fulgrim. Layer Blade completely makes up for that by giving him the extra strength
Yeah.
and even more resources, like reflexes.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna move Lair Blade to top right now, just to create a little separation, because I think there's a gap between these Primarchs and Lair Blade Fulgrim. Do we agree with that, or?
Yeah, Layer Blade Fulgrim.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Like-
say gap because he only fights a tired Ferris Manus,
That's a good
but I
point.
do think he is like. I think he would handily beat Angron. Yeah.
Yeah. Layer Blade literally just makes up for all of Fulgrim's like shortcomings. It's taking an already high tier Primarch and making all of his weaknesses
Yeah,
no
it's-
longer his weaknesses.
it's fucking broken.
Yeah.
He basically just becomes the lion.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous.
Oh boy,
Minus the Dark Age tech, of course.
Yeah. Okay, Mortarion. I think Mortarion's like right here. I think this is where Mortarion
Unpopular
goes.
opinion.
yeah.
I think
That is-
Perturabo might beat Mortarion.
Okay, so what's
I
what's
do
your
Not
that.
reasoning
unpopular
for this?
opinion. Not unpopular opinion.
I think Mortarion's would be like, you can strike me as many times as you like, brother. And then Perturabo will pull out 50 autocannons from the logos and start shooting.
I'm
it.
not gonna
And
lie.
he would be like, oh my god, oh my god.
Like, let's be
And
for
then
real,
he would
though.
have to walk through it, and then Perturabo would punch him in the head as hard as he can, and that's exactly how he fought Angron.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
gonna
not
lie.
ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
The sheer fact, Perturabo, like I know he got like Angron bombed and such, right? But wasn't he like doing a crap ton of damage to Demon Angron
So-
with his
Yeah,
weapon
like
and
So-
his like hit?
So in,
That's
sl-
low
in
key
that,
not crazy to say.
I mean, so in that fight, Perturabo tanks a hit that literally bends space and time. But Mortarion also tanked a hit that said that would level a mountain. Is that correct, Vulcan? Or not Vulcan, Crab.
In the space and time's a little
Mhm.
crazier.
I'm sorry.
So doesn't Mortarion tank a hit from Vulcan that was said to level a mountain?
Yeah. The strength to level a mountain and Mortarion just gets hit in the face.
So they're both really tanky. It really comes down to
One has more firepower than the other. I'm not gonna lie. Like Purdy's not just super tanky. Like the whole thing with
He's
Morty,
gonna
I feel
shoot
like
you.
is just the fact that Morty didn't have as much firepower as the others. If he gets outsped, which Khan did to him, he outsped him, and then Khan also had greater firepower than Morty, pre and post demon. Like Khan was able to hit him hard enough to hurt him, and better speed. If you have greater firepower than Mortarion or greater speed, you're beating him. And Perturabo's as tanky, if not more tanky, and has actual good firepower. From what I've seen, Mortarion doesn't hit that hard. He hits more like a wet noodle compared to some of his other brothers. He just usually out tanks and out survives.
yeah.
that's
And then-
not crazy. That's not crazy.
So there's also the interesting thing that Mortarion seems to be amped fighting Jagatai, and they draw. So he can't even beat a normal base Primarch without an amp. With an amp.
That's crazy.
So-
yeah, he
That's
might
crazy,
actually
bro.
be a bum.
So he might be actually he actually might be below Perturabo. Let's put a pin in that one. But let's move
I'm
him.
down for this agenda.
Let's move him.
Yeah, I was about to
below
say Fulgrim
Perturabo
crushes
for
his
amp.
mind.
Amped
Yeah.
is still hitting weaker than Khan.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's crazy. Okay, Lorgar. So this is Lorgar base. That's an easy low. Do we think like the demon in the Lair Blade is actually stronger than base Lorgar?
Wasn't Logar like bitching him, or was
might
that
be,
like
this
psychic
might be
Logar?
this might
That
be a
was Psychic
Metallo
Awakening
versus
Lorgar, I
Superman
think.
sort of thing, because we know that I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure by that point it stated that Lorgar has become a superior apostle to Erebus and what's his face, Corferon.
Yeah.
Corferon.
So he might just know how to subdue the demon I think this is a Metallo versus Superman thing. I think Lorgar is still losing to Mortarion and Perturabo, but I think that he just knew how to handle.
Because okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
He dead ass just gonna banish the demon from Fulgrim's body, and then he realized he had to fight normal Fulgrim, and then
He was like, "Oh, let me relax."
And also, I mean, Slaanesh demons are known for like enjoying taking damage. Like I recently started reading Lord of Excess, and the demon inside of a character. I'm not gonna give any spoilers because it's a pretty recent book, but the demon inside of a character inside of a demon host, not a demon host. Okay, I'm just gonna the demon, like, actually, like, if it gets pleasured from some of the pain that's being dealt by an enemy, and then gets empowered by said pain, and then I can't remember the exact source, but there's another time where some guy killed a demon of Slaanesh just because he straight up asked if he could. He was like, "Yeah, sometimes when you're dealing with denizens of the warp, like, you know, you just have to know how to deal with them."
Yeah.
I think I have heard that.
yeah,
So-
Slaanesh demons low-key freaky.
So do we really think that Fulgrim, while possessed by a completely chaos entity, is just straight up stronger than Lorgar?
I think Lorgar fucking sucks. I think Lorgar sucks.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that's not.
I think
I mean, that's
Lorgar
not- that's not
sucks, but he
crazy
gets a little
opinion, I mean-
overhated.
Not
I
crazy.
think he
think
sucks,
Lorgar
but he gets a
sucks.
little overhated because low-key, like, wasn't he also doing the casual like one-shot custodies, which some others couldn't do? I don't remember if he won. Didn't he do some shit like one-shot custodians or something?
Yeah, he
Which
I
I've
don't
only
know.
seen
in
Angron
first
and
Heresy.
Korax do.
It's also the Emperor thinks that it would take about 20 custodians to fight like base Lorgar, and that's a lot of custodians.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
custodians.
Wasn't it like 12?
Was it?
No,
I
it
think
was 20 for him. It
I
was
thought it
20
was-
for him, and I think his bodyguards.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's
Which
he
all I'm
also-
saying is,
he also
Korax
defeats
upscale because
Angrath.
Korax can one-shot him.
Yeah.
He does.
He also
like the
defeats
Rift,
Angrath in the Eye of Terror, which is crazy.
Bro,
Angrath
I
also
just
loses
he
to
must have
Angrath,
gotten a
though.
psychic boost there and boosted his stats like crazy because he's a late
Yeah, he
psyker.
must have.
Yeah, it
The
doesn't make
Chaos
any
Gods told
sense.
Angrath to
Doesn't-
hold back so that Lorgar would feel better.
Okay, so let's move on. We'll put Lorgar down there. This is a Psychic Awakening Lorgar, so this is him fighting Corvus Corax. I don't think there's really any change in Lorgar at all. I'm just gonna put him right there, like just ahead of him.
Yeah.
but not quite.
I mean, he seemed to get a little fresh, but it didn't really matter
It
because
didn't really
it's
matter.
crazy that he got an amp mid fight and got like a refresh on his stamina. It
And then-
looked like and,
And then he
still
got
lost.
body, and then he
bro.
got bodied still. That's
Korax is the goat, bro. Bro had to fight like 2 Primarchs.
Okay, Shattered Magnus threat. So this is Magnus after Prospero and before the Crimson King. So he doesn't have any of his shards. It's just him as a ethereal form.
He might be
Yeah,
last, bro.
He might be he might be
dead.
just dead last.
Last place.
He might just be dead last, guys. Like straight up, no shards or anything. He's just an ethereal.
Yeah, you're-
ghost.
you're a
He
ghost.
can't fight them. He's a ghost. He
Yeah.
literally can't fight them.
I
Okay,
hit him with the ghost thermos. I think he's done.
the ghost. Yeah, exactly. Okay,
Vacuum cleaner did.
now we get to the most infamous on this list, maybe besides Lairblade Fulgrim, which is post Davin Horse. And this is a
I
big
think-
one
Oh my.
throughout the community, or my Discord at least, that we don't know if Horus truly has a buff here or if he doesn't, because it's never explicitly said he doesn't have a buff or that he does have a buff, but it doesn't make sense that he wouldn't have a buff because he technically surrendered himself to the Chaos Gods at Davin, and thus having corruption, he would have a buff physically.
I don't know if it changes his ranking.
I think he's got a
low-key, 'cause
small buff, but I
Yeah,
think
like directly
Revenge of the
regardless,
Chaos Gods.
he's
I
putting
thi-
his hands on Fulgrim something nasty.
Yeah, I think he's
The,
top.
Is
the
he?
I
fight
think he's
Because-
between
top.
him and Angron, the fight between him and Angron, TJ, is the worst
I see that.
beating that you've ever
It's
seen.
bad.
one
Ah,
time
yeah,
It's
on
bad.
Fulgrim.
that.
It's
Bro.
bad.
The only thing I'm gonna ask, like, was this the point where some, like, I forgot, but I know at some point, like, people were saying it was in one of the books. They were saying that Fulgrim was like a threat to Horus, and Horus genuinely didn't think he could beat Fulgrim. Was this Demon Fulgrim or like Layer Fulgrim when they were talking about that? What point in time was that when they were saying like Fulgrim might actually like just whoop Horus?
I've
Because I
never
know that
heard-
happens. in one of the books. I forgot who. Somebody brought it up. It was like Crab or Illuminator. One of them brought it up that there was a point where like apparently Fulgrim was considered above Horus, or that he would have gave Horus a great fight.
I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of that, to be honest.
Yeah,
But I think
because Fulgrim just doesn't have feats on it. Like Fulgrim just doesn't have that level of feat. Like I don't think.
I think it's just between these two, and I think Horus is probably just above.
I think Horus is just simply above, bro. Like he no diffs Angron. Like it even says like Horus is kind of holding back because he doesn't want to kill Angron, and he still no diffs him. It's like
he doesn't want to hurt Angron's feelings.
Literally, bro. Literally. It's like,
bro. And Korak said it would be Horus or Sanguinius who would beat Angron. Just saying.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, Vulcan, Crab, it's your time to shine.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready.
So, where do we think
Dropsite Massacre?
So, probably below Magnus, I imagine, right?
I think so.
Where? Oh.
Okay, Crab, I want to hear your opinion on where we think Vulcan should go.
Well, number one, easy.
Number one. Okay. But we first have to set the parameters. Do we give Vulcan permanent revive? Or do we give him like 3 lives?
That's what my argument was going to be.
Or do we give him
just
just one?
his revives, because Dropsite Massacre is when Curse like kidnaps him in Crab and starts actually, killing him a bunch of times. So this is when he gets his revives.
But this is also when he has none of his gear too, right?
No, this would be like during the Dropsite Massacre. So like when he's fighting Mortarion. But see, that's the thing, is we don't know the results of the Mortarion fight. Did he just simply draw with Mortarion?
No, he definitely won that fight. Like from what
we just don't know.
He easily stops Mortarion swing one-handed and then bashes him in the face with a hammer.
But then
Mortarion wait until we get more about the fight. Wait until we get more about the fight, and we hear that was Vulcan's first death.
I think Vulcan's a lot like Mahito for JJK, where it's just like
that's a crazy pull.
Sure,
crazy pull.
Because think about it, because he's like, okay, Fulgrim cuts his head off. Okay, well I revive 13 times. Like obviously I'm not saying he kills him 13 times in a row, but he can functionally revive infinitely. Do I think that Vulcan's a better warrior or anything than Fulgrim? Not really. In the same way that I don't think that, like, sure, but then he goes relative with, then he gets nay-nayed on by a non-prime Curse. Like, I don't think, like I said, I don't think he ever fought prime Curse, so I just don't think he has any scaling that goes. Sure, 100%, I can agree with that, but I don't think that prime Vulcan has any scaling to anybody in high. Unless he revives infinitely. If we give him infinite lives, then yeah, I guess nobody can beat him.
Instead of no soul damage, it's no shuriken pistol. That's the only thing.
Yeah, nobody has a shuriken pistol on their hip, so you can't one-shot hold it.
So Crab, if he did have like unlimited lives, no one could kill him, and we could put him here. Okay, like no one no one could theoretically kill him, but that's like, it just, I don't know. Do we base it just because the man can not die does not mean he's like the greatest. You know what I mean? He just dies like over and over and over again. You know what I mean?
Purdy might still be above him because Purdy will find a plan to trap him and like put him in a super iron cage under the sea. I ain't gonna lie.
An iron cage, you said.
Vulcan's torture
Whoa, is that foreshadowing?
It happens whenever the Dropsite Massacre is still going on, you know?
Doesn't he also get nuked during the Dropsite Massacre?
Yeah, he just like tanks it.
Loki does just shrug it off.
So Crab, I'll give you this.
He gets knocked out, but he just wakes up.
Crab, I'll give you this. If this is Vulcan with unlimited lives, do we all agree that he's probably number one?
Yes.
Yeah. Until Purdy locks him in a cage, but
yeah, okay. But let's give him 3 lives, okay? Is that a fair compromise? It's not 1, but it's not unlimited.
We can give him 3 lives.
3 lives, okay.
I don't think anybody but like Fulgrim and Horus
at least
beat him.
He's at least in.
Yeah.
Do we think he's just like at the back of high? Maybe.
No, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. If he has 3 lives,
I think we're at the top of high.
So if he has 3 lives, he's
beating Curse with 3 lives easy.
I don't think so.
Prime Curse.
I don't think so.
Precognition that's like up to par with the lion and sparring.
This is Vulcan with his full gear though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I low-key don't think anybody except Layer Bay,
Curse
Fulgrim,
doesn't
and
have
Horus
the
is killing
ability
him
to
3
get through that.
times.
I just
I
don't
don't think
know.
anybody but those two are killing him 3
Because,
times.
like
With
I
his
said,
full
Vulcan.
gear,
But what skill feats does he have? That's what I'm saying. Like, what says that Kurz doesn't weave all of his attacks and slice his head off? And you may be
Because
saying
Curse
that's
has never
well,
done
hold
that
on. You may be saying, well, that's ridiculous. There's no way he does that. That's what the Lion did to Kurz when Kurz isn't at his best and the Lion is at his baseline. Never gets touched once. So we know that there's skill gaps so big that you cannot touch the other Primarch. So I'm saying,
Okay,
what
but the
skill
thing is-
feats does Vulcan have?
That has to be in character. Curse does not dodge like that. He tries and blocks with his claws, and he's just gonna get like his claws shoved down his own throat.
Okay, so if he now watch this. If he has precognition, he knows that's gonna happen, so he dodges it. Right?
I mean,
That's
he
the
should've
point.
fucking
That's what.
with his Vulcan for like 3 fights when he's getting tossed around too.
Okay, let's look
That's
at
my
really
point. That's
crazy.
my point, Crab. He didn't have it on then, so he never fought Prime Curse. Like
Let's-
you're saying, well, how come he didn't use it against him in the first fight? I don't know why he didn't use it, but this is Curse with it on, so he's not
Vulcan
gonna
and
just
Curse
hit with the
are the
hammer.
2 worst. Vulcan and Curse are the 2 worst because they have some of the craziest outlier feats and some of the most
Yeah, exactly.
insane anti-feats, bruh. You have the Surrogate Pistol Bum and you have the freaking Space Marine Losing Bum, bruh. They
Also,
both
wait,
have
wait.
the craziest
Why are we taking Curse at his best, which is after the Dropsite Massacre, but keeping Vulcan down when he was still at the Dropsite Massacre?
Well, that's
instead of,
because Conrad
like
Kurz doesn't
Urzatul or
have any
something.
changes in his form, though. Like he's just
And
that's
he's
just Conrad
keeping him
Kurz the whole
He's
time.
always capable
really
of it.
just
Like
about him
anytime you
locking
fight
you.
Conrad, you flip a coin about whether you're fighting at high tier or a low tier. Like that's just the way. That's always him.
Just average it out instead of taking him at his very best, which doesn't even happen during the Dropsite
I
Massacre.
genuinely don't think that you can because when he fought a Space Marine at his worst and fought 2 Primarchs at his best, I don't know what the average of that is.
Yeah, that's a huge contrast.
Gilliman was also. Hey, bro, I don't know if we can
Yeah,
count
we
that
could
2v1
stop
because
hitting the
Gilliman
power
was
scaling
doing better
character.
than Lion then. So like,
Well, I feel like you can
Gilliman
make the
might be
argument
like
that
Colin.
Kurz was fighting the Lion and Gilliman was just kind of standing there, you know.
but it made it like clear in the fight that Gilliman was doing better than Lion.
Yeah,
like,
he was doing
all-
better.
It's crazy, bruh. Like Gilliman
Yeah, I
low-key
think
might be
that
like
seems
Curse
weird.
too.
So
Curse
again,
number
this is-
2 is crazy.
so do we want to
This
leave
is
like
Vulcan with 3 lives. An insane Vulcan was beating Curve with like 1 life, maybe 2.
Well, I think I gave you a fair compromise in that we are saying that this is Prime Curse. If you could just present a skill feat that shows that Vulcan literally doesn't get doesn't land a single blow, we can discuss it. But you're just
Wait,
going off vibes.
If
So-
this is Prime Curse though, he's over.
So Crab, let me just make sure that we're all on the same page. Are you arguing that Kurz with precog sees himself get hit by the hammer after trying to block, and he's just like, I don't care, and he blocks anyway? Is that your argument?
Curse Loki might
Well,
do that, but
If you see the future
More
and it shows that
suicidal.
you're getting hit, you can't exactly especially if this is Kurz who thinks that you can't change the future. If he sees himself getting hit in the future, he's gonna get hit.
Well, that's not true because Kurz has
What?
as we see in Unremembered Empire, Kurz can literally see a Space Marine opening a door, and then he proceeds to wait for that Space Marine to open the door, and then he sneaks into the spaceship using that method.
which is low key weird.
And then that's how he
Because
dodges.
when he fights the
Yeah.
other Space Marine, he sees that his attacks are gonna get blocked, and he still
yeah,
goes for them.
it's
That's what I'm saying.
it
Like,
doesn't make any sense.
Bill couldn't believe he
So
was that
sometimes,
bad.
like dead ass Curse might see himself get hit and still get hit. But also, if this is Prime Curse, he's over Angron. If we're assuming it's Prime Curse with his super foresight, avoiding all hits, then he's over Angron. And I don't think that Angron can kill Vulcan in his armor 3 times. We also have seen in the recent lore, in the recent books, they said Vulcan has the best armor. That's putting him over Pert's armor, which was tanking Demon Angron.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If we really want to do it, we can put Kurz and Vulcan above Angron.
Yeah. So what? I don't even remember. What was our original argument for Angron over Kurz?
Just that he beats him. I think he beats him in a fight because, like, non-super locked in, avoiding every hit. Kurz loses to Angron because Angron's like one of the physically strongest and Conrad's on the weaker side. So raw strength, Angron
First
beats him.
Yeah. But like,
yeah.
Like, just like how I think
should even
Fulgrim,
be
if
in the
Fulgrim was
discussion until the next
super locked in.
era.
Yeah, if Fulgrim was super locked in, I think he beats Angron too. He just weaves all of Angron's attacks. But Fulgrim's not usually like that, just like how Kurz isn't like that. So Angron would win from brute force, not like skill or anything. But if we're going like locked in,
to dodge all of Angron attacks, I'm gonna be honest.
yeah, it just depends on how Fulgrim also is always like twiddling his thumbs and not like super locked in. So he was also able to block. He was able to parry Ferris though, like, and Ferris is top 2 strongest, so he should be able to parry Angron pretty easily. Like even base Fulgrim was able to parry and dodge Ferris pretty good.
I mean, you can make the argument that Fulgrim could fight any of these guys and stand a chance against them.
Yeah, we're in the same.
That's
tier.
what I was saying before.
Let's make a distinction. Let's make a distinction and move on because we're going to be talking in circles. Do we want to move Conrad Kurz up because his precog is pretty damn good, and do we want to move Vulcan up? Move Angron down.
I don't think that's crazy if Vulcan gets 3 lives.
If it's prime
I can
Kurz,
say-
like
I can
the
live
one that
with
fought
that.
the lion, yeah.
Because the problem is, Crab, that Kurz's foresight when it is on and it's not like spotty at best, he should be able to foresee all of Vulcan's attacks and just simply kill him over and over again. I think Vulcan's just the strongest Primarch altogether, so I think he would just outmuscle Angron. So I think that's fair, especially if he has 3 lives. He could just die once and then kill Angron. So I think
he's just doing what Purdy did, but with a hammer.
I gotta ask. So even Kurz with his precog, he chooses to block over dodge like every time, and he's not blocking Vulcan.
That's not the case for when he fought the lion. He was dodging attacks.
Yeah, that happened one time compared to literally every other time he chooses to block instead.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That's the fight with Lion where he was ducking in and out of the shadows and had his precog on. That fight right there is prime Kurz. That's Kurz using all of his skills to the best of his abilities. I don't know why he tries to block when he's relax, buddy. I don't know why he decides to block when he's slow, but he's a fast Primarch. I don't know why he decides to do that. But when he's at his best, the lion could not beat Conrad Kurz at his best. He had to use Ultra Instinct to get the Kurz after that point. And I think that Vulcan's just not like that.
I still think that Kurz, like his prime, shouldn't be like included until the next ranking. Like
he can always do that, but that's what I'm saying. He can always do that at any point. That can happen.
Like outside buff.
Yeah.
It's not like there was something that made him do that. It's just something he could do at any point. It's not like Sanguinius, where it's like, he's actively using his fate of dying at horse's hands to like fucking cheat death. That's not something he can do all the time, so it wouldn't be fair to bring that up now. But it's like, if Kurz just locks in, he's locked in. Like, that's not a chaos buff. That's not manipulating fate.
I would agree. I would agree with Jay.
Especially since we see in the drop site
instead of just taking his base like we do for most of the other Primarchs who don't have anything different.
Because even at his base, like, we went in the drop site, we went from him thinking he needed to prove himself from Korax. Like, the reason he went to save Logar, he didn't really care about Logar, but he wanted to run the fade with Korax. But he wanted to do it with a fresh Korax. So he went there to prove himself, to try to prove himself as a worthy warrior to Korax. And he thought he was going to get cooked. But then he locks in his foresight, and then somehow he's able to block Korax's attack to Logar mid-swing while being not confident before that. Like, he was unconfident to even be able to step in before that, and then he blocks Korax's fight mid-swing. So clearly he can just block it at every time. So every time is his prime and his weakest.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous.
I say Cal flips a coin right now to see how lucky.
Oh my god,
That's stupid. No.
That's what happened to Lore. That's what happened to Lore.
I think it's fair to put Vulcan and Kurz right next to each other. Vulcan 3 lives, Kurz like locked in. I don't think it's crazy. I don't really think either of them is above the other. It's really just like the circumstance. They're pretty equal.
Yeah, they might actually be 50-50.
I can live with that.
The Great Crab Wars and the treaty.
Kurz gets no diff if he's like the super not locked in, and then he like cooks Vulcan if he is locked in. Like it's just Kurz being Kurz.
I think we're just gonna leave it like this, and we'll argue. We can come back and argue about this later, Crab. How about that? We'll put a pin in it.
Okay.
Corvus Corax. TJ, are you ready? Corvus Corax is next.
I I think he's beating Purdy, to be honest.
I
Simply
agree.
matchup diff. Like I don't think Purdy's strategy's not working against the GOAT Korax. This might be crazy, but I low-key also think he's beating Ferris. But hey, that's me.
That is a little crazy.
I don't know about that one because Ferris and Fulgrim are pretty much equal to each other during their fight, and I don't think Corvus Corax can spar with these bad boys. I don't know.
I mean,
all
what
we
do we
have,
see that he can't?
all we have is the feat that he beats the fuck out of Lorgar, which is not impressive, and he said to have sparred with Horus, base Horus, but that was sparring, so that's kind of hard to take into.
I mean, Sevatar thinks he would kill Kurz.
Maybe it's an off day for Kurz that day.
Nah, this is a
Yeah,
day.
maybe he
This
didn't have his
is the same Sevatar who saw him fight with the lion. By the way, same Sev who saw him fight with the lion. He considers Korax to be as
But that's
dangerous as Kurz.
But he saw. I think he saw Kurz fight the lion twice, and one of those he was relative to the lion, and one time the lion was so bored fighting him that it didn't matter.
True. All I'm saying is he thinks Korax is as dangerous as Kurz. And if we're doing it like an in-character fight, right? Kurz constantly bitches and moans about how Korax is better at doing the whole moving from shadows to shadows thing than him. If we're actually going to take it like Primarch powers, like the reviving, the precog and such, shouldn't the invisibility give him the easy matchup versus Ferris, who should not have as good speed or like reflexes to react to Korax jumping from shadows to shadows with invisibility? He's doing
Honestly,
what
it's
Combat
making
does.
a lot of sense.
He's making
He's
it.
doing
No,
what
that's
Korax
actually
does.
he's spinning right now.
He
Low-key.
literally does what Kurz does, but better. Like, imagine Kurz in that lion fight where he's jumping from shadows to shadows. The biggest advantage was him jumping from shadows to shadows with his speed and his stealth abilities, right? Korax is consistently, by Conrad's own admission, way, way, way better at stealth, to the point where Korax was able to not only like be super fast to pull up on Kurz without him reacting, in the same time where Sevatar said they were as dangerous as each other, Korax was fast enough to pull up on Kurz without him noticing, and he was stealthy enough to the point that Kurz didn't recognize he was there until he let himself be known, and he genuinely surprised Kurz. And Kurz has passive foresight. Even if it's not automatically turned on, Korax's stealth without the invisibility was good enough to get the jump on Kurz.
I don't think that's ridiculous.
That's not. It's just fucking
That was
hard,
actually
man.
a really good case.
That was a really good case.
Like, the thing is, we gotta think also, Korax in the one fight he didn't even need the invisibility versus Logar because Logar tried to come in and jump him. Korax was no different.
So you could also
just
okay.
True,
So
I do agree. He is a statement
TJ, I
merchant,
got
but
a
we
nice
do have
counter.
some beats.
I got a nice argument to back you. Corvus Corax was also heavily exhausted and wounded because he had first led the charge into the traitor forces on Istvan and was then fighting all the Galvor back at once. He was fighting literally by himself, and then he fought Lorgar, and he still no-diffed him. Or low-diffed him.
He literally he literally killed, and the Gal Vorback are able to go like what, 2-1 with Custodes, like
Yeah.
basic ones. He killed.
Oh, shit,
The
man,
reason the
that's
Gal Vorback
crazy.
had to reform, was because Corvus Corax. He killed all but like 2 of them, and this is with another Primarch jumping in to try to stop him. This is more supported with the fact a Custodes captain straight up comments and says that Corax would one-shot him without the lightning claws. His bare fist in power armor can one-shot the Custodes.
I think any
is
Primarch
Corvus
could do
actually
that.
finna go up off of statements? Does he have enough statements to actually go
Is he-
above?
is
Ferris?
this the new statement
that's
merchant?
what we did with Horus, bro. That's what we did with
Yeah,
Horus,
dude,
bro.
fucking-
And
I-
Corax
Well,
was
Horus
good.
got a feat though. Horus got a feat.
True.
Though.
All I'm saying is wait, Corax will get one soon. It's gonna be the Skyrim, bro.
You know what's
I'm
crazy,
telling y'all.
ZBK? Is Horus literally got that feat a couple months ago. Before that, it was literally
Yeah.
just statements, bro. Statements from
Exactly.
campaign books, man. Campaign books. The only,
And
like,
if we
relative
do
to
want
the
to talk
lion.
about feats, he might not have Primarch fight feats, but in terms of non-Primarch fighting, he has debatably some of the best feats out of all the Primarchs besides Fulgrim. Fulgrim was above 200 like Marines in armor or whatever, without an armor, right? Corax was able to take on a full station of Chaos Juice Imp's children himself with just some of his like little leftover Raven Guard. He also was casually no-diffing Mauler. I don't remember if it was Mauler things or something, but it was some type of demon engines. He was able to
Mauler
casually
things.
kill them with his jetpack, by the way, just slicing them with the jetpack. Keep in mind, his jetpack can also slice through Logar's armor. So he basically has his double lightning claws, invisibility, a jetpack that's able to hurt Primarchs, because it was able to hurt Logar, and cut through his armor at the same time. He
I
has
might be
some of the
willing to
best
both
feats
Ferris.
for no Primarch fights. Even outside of Primarch fights, no anti-feats against bums, casually cooking Chaos Sorcerers with prep time. He fought the Chaos Sorcerer at the same time he was fighting the Demon Engines and multiple Emperors and like multiple other Space Marines, which we've seen a Sorcerer with prep time was able to beat Gilman.
Hell fucking hey! Oh my god!
That is true. That
God
is true.
damn! This is a well-crafted argument.
I think
This
he
is
might. I think Ferris
shit.
might have to go
Shit,
below
I gotta
Korax. I
apply
think.
Like,
I think that-
Korax might not have
That
any
was
crazy
good.
Primarch fight feats. His feats might not be crazy Primarch fights, but out of like baseline feats of actually scaling him against anything else in the verse, he has some of the most insane feats of fighting things besides Primarchs. Let it be whole like fortresses of Marines, let it be his insane visibility, his statements even with the context, like you can see why it works. And this is when we haven't seen full power Korax use his invisibility.
Yeah, and
versus another Primarch.
You know what's crazy is Korax with his warp buff beats a demon Primarch, just straight up beats him.
Yeah.
So,
And you could argue Logar was new to his demon. Well, I don't think he was new to demon Primarch. He didn't have his Enuncia then. He was just starting to learn it. But this is a more experienced demon Primarch Logar,
who
Chaos
has psychic
Undivided demon
powers?
Primarch
Who has
with psychic powers. And this was a new Korax. He just got his warp form. So warp form
Yeah.
Korax will also grow in power as well. And they were both in the warp, so you could argue both buff.
Well, I think
But it was
yeah.
Logar's domain. It was Logar's realm. And he just got done. Guess what? Fighting through a bunch of word
Yeah, he
bearers.
did,
And he was
yeah.
slaughtering
And
the entire word bearer.
Weren't there word bearers helping
Well, to
Lorgar
be
during
fair-
the fight too? Weren't there word
Yes.
bearers shooting at Corvus Corax too?
Yes, and the bullets were
Well,
passing
also-
through and not able to affect him.
Lorgar was, what's it called? Like, wasn't he like maintaining a portal or something to like let his sons escape?
That's a good point. He was maintaining a portal that might have affected his.
But I think that was just after, because when Korax pulled up, Logar didn't know about him until his son started screaming for help. Then Korax, after going through the whole World Bearer Armada in Logar's own realm, Logar, after fighting Korax for a bit, then opened the portal because he clearly thought he was gonna lose, so he had to save his son to king.
Okay. Let's get back to base Corvus Corax. TJ makes a very good point.
Same guy who's equivalent to a Norn emissary, by the way.
What'd you say?
That's crazy.
What'd you say, Crab?
Korax equal to a Norn emissary, by the way. Just saying.
He's equal to a Norn emissary?
Nah.
Yeah, we did the calcs one day with the amount of custodies the Norn killed compared to the amount of Galvorback Korax killed.
Yeah, but he
Korax
could have kept
also was
going.
able to-
But he could have kept
Yeah,
going.
he got
I mean-
shot by another
I mean, the
Primarch,
Norn
but
could have kept
in
going.
one shot.
No, he died.
He died. Corvus Corax
Because
fought
he
a
wasn't
Primarch.
focused- The Norn emissary wasn't focused on the custodies.
I don't agree with this
Oh my
Korax down.
God.
Still. This is
Jerry
Musty.
pointing gift, dude. Like,
Okay,
come on. now.
let's stay on topic. Do we think Corvus Corax?
I think he's above Ferris.
I think he's definitely high. That's no question. Why do we think he's over Ferris? Like, what's the argument? Because they
I think the point about going invisible and then like hitting him and like ducking and I think that's a really good. And I think Ferris is too.
Also-
like, I think he's too much of like a I swing my sword and I hope for the best.
If we really want to go there, you could argue he would be as good as a fight to Fulgrim or better fight in the same context, because Ferris was more fresh when he fought Fulgrim in both of the fights. Korax just had to deal with the Gal Vorback getting bombed and saving his sons. On top of that, Korax can not only go invisible, he can fly, and he's
Yeah.
not cocky like Ferris.
You know what's crazy, TJ, is there's also a statement in the Dropsite Massacre book that he was killing hundreds of Space Marines during the
Yeah,
battle.
he was casually like,
Yeah.
he
so
was doing the most work of killing most of the enemy forces. He got a lot of the fire from the Night Lords, the Word Bearers, like some of the two largest legions present at the Dropsite Massacre, as well as the Iron Warriors were always so nuking him. And I'm just saying, the only Primarch he noted on there the only traitor Primarch besides like Horus was Angron. He's the only one he thought he couldn't beat.
So do
Was
we want to
Angron
say
there.
this? Do we want to say that? Like, literally?
I don't know if we can go there that far.
I
I
could
don't
go
know.
with that.
Yeah,
Because
But
if we're
I
saying
could see
Fulgrim
it.
and Ferris are 1-to-1,
Yeah.
I think we can say that.
I could say, honestly, we could say that because Fulgrim and Ferris are literally equal to each other. And Corvus Corax apparently is the guy, the man.
And we've only seen him fight. We've only seen him fight the other Primarchs tired. I do think he would still lose to Angron fresh. But again, Angron's like super roided up. Rah!
But you
And
could
even then,
also.
he doesn't,
But you
he
could
doesn't
also
think he would get
sorry,
no
sorry.
diff by Angron. He doesn't think he would get like super cooked by Angron. He thinks that like if it was a full fight, he thinks he would eventually fall to Angron. AKA, he thinks if he was fresh and fought Angron, he would be able to match him and give him a good fight. On top of the fact that he thought he could still possibly beat Angron at that point. I don't think he could beat him at the point when he was tired, to be honest, because he was in a super shit situation. It was Angron and like a tie to World Eaters. But the way he words it, if he was fresh, he does still have a chance to obviously beat Angron, which makes sense based off everything else we've seen. And again, he ain't got no anti-feats. He's
Yeah.
consistently no diff in everything else besides the Primarchs. And even when tired, he was able to no diff the Primarch.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Angron would have also been in the front of the fray too, so he would have been
Mhm.
exhausted too, and they're in that fight. So I think, like
But
you
wasn't
said,
he like the reinforcements too? Wasn't Angron? He's the traitor legions who were more fresh because they
No,
were.
he was in
No,
the he was
not
in the
the
Angron was-
trenches.
yeah, he
I
was
think
in
he
the
was in the
trenches.
trenches.
I'm
Like, he was like
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
tweaking.
fray. So I think the statement is true that Angron would beat Corvus, but I think you're right. I don't think it would be a no diff or a low diff. I think it would be close, and I think TJ, you have talked yourself into Corvus Corax being a top 10 somehow. Because I
Damn,
I
that's
agree.
crazy.
Like
God
Fulgrim
bless
and
you.
Ferris are relative to each other, and Corvus Corax has just the whole thing is that that's only his real fight is against Lorgar, and but he does it so fucking well, and he's
with all
wounded.
the context stacked
Exactly.
against him, all the
Yeah.
context against him,
I
and we
I
don't
would
even
like
get
to
to see him
say-
use his invisibility. Like each time we see Conrad fight, he's in a favorable. Like we gotta remember with Conrad fighting Lion and Gilliman, he's in a favorable environment in a dark city of what was it, McCrag, where he's able to use alleyways in his best fighting environment. Conrad would
That's
not
true.
do nearly as good if he was in the same situation as Corax in the open firing fields where artillery is shooting at you, when his specialty is stealth and being a dirty fighter. Corax is doing this good while wounded, injured, and in the worst possible environment. It's literally him fighting these people in an open field
Yeah.
where he would be doing
Fucking
crazy
A.
work in like alleys and corridors.
Holy shit! Yeah, I don't see any flaws in this argument. Does anyone?
I
And
would
now,
like to
I
say,
agree.
just on the topic of him versus Fulgrim, I do agree he does have a favorable matchup against Ferris. I think the spot between Ferris and Fulgrim would be good for him because with Fulgrim, he can't really fight the way that he likes to fight. Because in Fulgrim's Primarch novel, he does shit like he feels the wind from a bullet flying through the air, and
Oh my
like goes
God.
to react to it.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
like-
that's crazy to have him in between them. I think
Okay.
he's over Ferris. I don't think he has enough feats to be over Fulgrim yet. Like, I can see him having the
But
potential
that's-
if we actually get to see his invisibility in a Primarch fight, because the way they describe him versus Demon Engines and other Space Marines, it's not just that he's invisible. He literally makes it register that he's not there. Like, scanners can't detect him. Other stuff can't detect him at all. It's not just like living things. Other things can't detect him either. And it's like he's not there for them. Like, it's just people die. And it's like a whirlwind of death and people just die and go flying. I feel like it's not good to put him over Fulgrim yet until we get feats,
See-
especially how his invisibility works versus the others.
I
this
would
is a good
agree.
spot.
But I think you can make the argument that since Fulgrim and Ferris are literally 1-to-1 on each other, they're almost as relative as you can get. If we're putting Corvus Corax over Ferris, we should put him over Fulgrim.
I do agree with that.
I can see it either way. I'm just saying I don't know it because Corax doesn't have as much speeds, but in theory I can see him beating Fulgrim because also flying is insane. Like we've seen how Sengi can use his flying to absolutely abuse in cheese fights. Corax can do the same, plus his flight is deadly because he's literally shown it off when he's used his jump pack versus Logar or above literal demon engines. He was able to just it's a Dark Age jump pack too, so it's like weird Dark Age tech. He was able to slightly turn on the thrusters to dash himself forward and slice through Logar and his armor, and then also use it to slice through demon engines
Man, my Space Marine 2 can do that.
Yeah, he got the assault ability, bro. He got the assault ability to offstand.
I think Fulgrim versus Corax is probably like a 50-50, so I don't think it matters where you put him on either side.
Yeah.
I think ever so slightly Fulgrim Fulgrim maybe is 5% stronger, but it's so interchangeable in my opinion.
Yeah. I also think Corax is just slightly physically stronger because he has some low-key crazy speed feats compared to Fulgrim, and he doesn't have an anti-feat getting blocked by Space Marines like somebody, but
let's relax on Goat now.
Don't worry, those two goats are my I want both of the emo brothers to be close together.
The emo and the twink, I
want the emos to be close together. We gotta have both of the emos in high tier.
Let's leave it like this for now, because I feel like if we're putting Fulgrim and Ferris right next to each other because they're relative, then if Corax is over Ferris, then we have to put him over Fulgrim. We'll put a pin in this one.
Now we just wait for the scouring.
Yeah,
now we just wait for the scouring where Corax fights Kurt and they're relatives.
Okay, we have two guys left, Alfarius and Omegon. Where do we think Alfarius goes?
I don't think it's ridiculous to say that he kills Lord.
It's not.
Yeah.
He's
100% low tier.
Yeah, 100%. But where? And
if we really wanted to push the Alfarius,
I'd put him below Psychic Lorgar.
But I mean that version of Lorgar still got no low diffed by Corvus Corax. It wasn't really a close fight.
And he didn't really know how to use
his
powers either.
It's not like a huge change in his form. He wasn't throwing tanks around. He wasn't blocking Psyker bullets or plasma shots or anything like that. It doesn't seem like a crazy amp. So I could see.
All I'm saying is,
I don't think it's a crazy
Alfarius
amp.
did
I just think that
Lorgar.
Alfarius isn't that far above base Lorgar.
He just has
he's
some really
above
good
Demon
skill
Fulgrim.
feats. And doesn't he have that phase spear or something?
Yeah,
shouldn't
and he
that
has the
be
Necron
really
weapon
good
that's
against
durability
Lorgar?
neg.
Yeah, but
It's Duraneg, I'm pretty sure if it hits.
That's the thing
Dorn
is,
tanked?
Rogel Dorn just tanks that shit to his shoulder, and there's nothing remarked about it afterwards. It's not. Oh no, his shoulder's dissolving. He just tanks it, and he's fine.
Oh well, yeah.
It's kind of disappointing. It's a spear that's supposed to dissolve anything it touches.
I
And then Dorn
low-key
just
think-
tanks
It
it.
genuinely is.
I think he beats Demon Fulgrim, Possessed Fulgrim too. I'm not gonna lie.
You're gonna put him in mid, bro? No,
I thought bro was talking about
get
You
that
can
out
also
of
just
here.
move that Fulgrim down. Move that Fulgrim down.
I can see this
Sure.
Fulgrim being down and low, to be honest. Because
I mean, speaking of possessed Fulgrim, there is a statement, however you want to take it, in the Fulgrim Ferris fight where when the demon's controlling Fulgrim, it says that he loses all of his grace, and then it says an heiress, which I have no clue what that means. I even tried looking it up. I couldn't find the definition. But it says he loses all of his grace and heiress. When the demon controls him to go for the killing blow.
I think it's fair to say that Fulgrim would lose all of his skill and his dueling ability, so he would just be a Primarch with a demon inside.
Bone grub.
With harding time controlling the body too. Yeah. I think Alfarius beats him.
Clone versus possessed Fulgrim. New video.
Go.
Let's go.
I think Fulgrim might got that.
Well,
I just think that Alfarius, skill-wise, he's got some of the most impressive. Loki, the biggest thing holding Alfarius back is his other stats and not having a cool Primarch ability. Deadass, he's in the higher end of the skilled. He's in the higher end of the skilled Primarch, so I think he would beat that Fulgrim simply from skill diff. The way they were glazing his skill in the Primarch, Dorn fight is kind of crazy, and it wasn't Dorn completely cooked him. Dorn had to sweat a bit, so.
Yeah, I mean
that is true. He is very skilled.
Their fight is pretty close. I think here's what I'm thinking: we move Alfarius to the top below. We put demon possessed Fulgrim below him. We put Lorgar above him, and then we have base Lorgar down here. Because base Lorgar isn't skilled
I would agree.
at all.
I was just about to mention that.
Do we think that's fair?
Yeah, I can.
You think that's fair?
I just think the the possessed Fulgrim really like completely trolls him because having Fulgrim's body like cool and all, but the thing that makes Fulgrim is he low-key got that dog in him, like he got that skill.
Yes.
Without that,
Yeah, the
it's
finesse.
not the same.
Yeah, so we agree that he would not have any of his dueling abilities or anything like that. So he would be
Even
pretty
with the
much
healing,
Lorgar.
bro, like he's just gonna get bullied.
Yeah,
He's gonna get bullied and keep
Okay.
healing. I'm doomed.
Yeah.
Okay, last one, Omegon, and then we'll do the other 6.
I mean,
you put
above
your
Magnus
authority.
because Magnus is a ghost. but I mean,
Omegon.
Above Alfarius.
Omegon, just above Morty,
Wow.
huh?
because he's fucking awesome.
All right.
Do you have anything to
don't
back
know how
that
to argue with
up?
that, guys.
We have no feats to speak of about him, so it's only fair to put him middle of the pack.
It's
There we
only
go.
fair.
That does mean he has no anti feats. That technically,
Technically,
That
yeah.
means he has no feats, no
I mean,
feats, so put him
I
middle
think
of the
he
pack.
does because he's literally considered the non-fighter brother, so he can't go above Alfarius because Alfarius is considered the greater warrior. So
but
like,
what if that means Alfarius is the non-fighting fighter and Omegon's cracked?
Oh,
that just
my
means
God.
it actually just means Omegon
Yeah,
is
no.
like a super duper psyker like Magnus.
Yeah, what if he's like?
What if he's just top, guys? What if he's actually top?
That's
I'm
He was
just
the
gonna,
Pretty
I'm
much
just gonna
equal
leave
to
him right
Alfarius.
here for right now. So this is
You don't think he's above Lorgar?
no, he's the
No.
shorest.
No.
He was found last.
People be
technically.
disrespecting Logar.
Oh yeah.
People be disrespecting Logar.
literally,
He's not that,
literally
buddy.
like a little chud. So that's all Omegon is.
He's
So-
literally like his whole thing is being a redditor, like super spy, basically.
Literally.
Like he literally was raised by
Redditor.
Malcador to be a chess player and spy. He's not a
Oh
fighter.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay, so
that's right.
do we agree with this? This is all the Dropsite Massacre guys, and then we'll get to the other fellows. Post Davin Horus, number 1, easy. I think that's easy.
Yeah.
Lair Blade 2.
I agree with all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Conrad Kurz and Vulcan 3 and 4.
fine.
Crab
Bro
conceded.
says sign.
What was the argument for Vulcan there? I was at work.
He's
Also,
got
be
3
right back.
lives.
I'm gonna
He's got
feed
3
my dog
lives.
and let her
They
out.
only gave him 3 revives.
Only 3.
That's so.
Good. And gave Curse his peak, which didn't
Yeah,
even
you're
happen during the drop fight.
removing his ability.
Well,
Okay, then
we
remove-
did preface that if he had like all of his lives, he'd be 1. So I gave you that.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
okay.
just like with the conversations all become, well, Vulcan's immortal, so. And
That's,
Yeah,
that's
what
literally what it would be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not really any power.
I guess,
spells
Yeah,
like,
he
that's
had.
what it should
I
be.
guess that's fair. That. Yeah. Okay.
And
Only
then
gets 3 shadow slips.
Angron, Korax, Fulgrim, and Ferris. I think this is honestly really fair. I think what we did here was
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
So this is
We're going to get Sanguinius out of the way.
well, wait, hold on. So this is the definitive, like that word, definitive Dropsite Massacre rankings, and now we're gonna do the rest of the 6. Okay. Let's start with Sanguinius. Oh my God,
Oh,
where does he go?
I
That's
think
tough,
it-
guys.
I think it's different for him. I don't think he's good at the Terra feats.
Yeah. Well, it's a.
I
so-
think you might be able to make an argument that Pete Kurz and Sanguinius are dead even.
I think you can make so let me preface for people watching. This is Sanguinius base form. This is not Sanguinius during the Siege of Terra where he beats Angron and Cabanda within minutes of each other. That's a different form. That's End in the Death Sanguinius or Siege of Terra Sanguinius, as we like to call him. That's a different form where he's just insanely broken. We'll do that ranking later in the future. So this is only base Sanguinius up until. When do we think he gets like his form changed? Is like Better Garmon or Imperium Secundus? When do we think, or just Siege of Terra in general?
I think it's just the Siege of Terra because Cabanda
Yeah.
is able to fight him on, I think, Beta Garmin.
No,
that's the
Cygnus Prime.
Prime.
Cygnus Prime, right?
Oh, Cygnus Prime.
So I think
I don't know what feats he has on Beta Garmin.
he doesn't really. He destroys a Titan, but that's because he can fly. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
easier for him to destroy
Yeah.
Titans like that. I think he would go right here because he draws with Kurz in Pharaohs without armor and without a real sword. So I think he would be stronger than Kurz in armor with the real weapons and stuff, but I don't think he can beat Lairblade Fulgrim unless we think Sanguinius is like that.
I mean,
I
if you
don't think
if you
he
use
has the feats
Lairblade
to be like
Fulgrim
that
with,
pre
No, I don't think so.
like the
Siege.
full buff, no.
Okay, so do we?
Yeah.
I definitely think that's the right spot. I think he could beat Conrad, definitely. I don't think he is above Fulgrim at all. Layer Blade.
Yeah,
I think the layer blade's just crazy.
Yeah.
I think this is a good spot, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's
No
do
argument.
let's do Gilliman next because let's get the easy ones out of the way. I think Gilliman's like right here
Yeah, I don't think there's much like
'Cause I don't
debating
think-
on Gilliman.
because during
Yeah.
Betrayer, Gilliman fights like kind of Lorgar like this. I think Lorgar was actually probably stronger than this form, and they draw. So I think he would be stronger than this amped version, or he would be weaker than this version. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Gilliman here. Dorn.
Mhm.
I think Dorn would be like right here.
Dorn,
'Cause if
but yeah, below.
he's close to Alfarius.
Below Morty, I think. Below Morty. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think below
that
Morty.
makes
He just
sense.
has that weird.
it's just a weird Fulgrim fight, man. That
Fulgrim
Fulgrim
feat,
fight
man.
is just so fucking weird.
Actually, I do have something from the Fulgrim fight as
boy.
well.
This is gonna shatter
So,
our
at the-
reality, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I was rereading it
Okay.
because I had a conversation about Khan versus Fulgrim with the Illuminator, and that led me back to the Dorn fight. And at the end of the fight, hold on, grabbing it right now. Okay, at the end of the fight, you know, Fulgrim's talking about, like, he's trying to rage bait Dorn, like he's trying to do the entire fight, and then Dorn tells him that he's a distraction, that Perturabo is using him as a pawn, all that stuff. And then I'll read out this part. So, Dorn says, "I'm not trapped here. I'm not under siege today. You are, and that's why I'm going to kill you." Then they have a little exchange. You know, Fulgrim gets a little more messed up, and then here, Fulgrim rested his bloody cheek on Dorn's shoulder and sighed. Dorn ripped the sword out and stepped clear. "Well," whispered Fulgrim, blood spattering out of his mouth. "What a mess." He straightened up, gore running from his torn face and broken plate. "It really failed then. The Mournful plan? It did. They are all dead." "Oh, you do fine work. I wanted to scalp, I wanted his head, Lupercal, but you came instead. A traitor Primarch? I'll make do with you." "All these things you know," said Fulgrim, so very able and informed, "but there are things you don't." "Name one," said Dorn. "One," said Fulgrim. "I can't die." He stared at Dorn, his wounds closed, the skin reknitting without a scar, his dangling hand refused. His armor fixed itself and regained its luster. His blood dried up and blew away as dust. "Two," he said. "I am sick of all of this, all of it. The others can find a way to grind you down and bring your fortress low. I cannot die, but I feel the pain and I won't take any more of it." And then, he sheaths his blade, he turns into his giant demon self. But this exchange, when you read it, it really comes off as like, yeah, Fulgrim was just messing around with Dorn during that fight.
Yeah.
And then he wanted to have this big reveal of like, oh, even their earlier dialogue. I mean, you've read the fight. You know, their earlier dialogue where Fulgrim's trying to get a reaction out of him. He's like, "Oh, are you really not going to try and turn me? Like, you don't want to try and save me?" You know, like, Fulgrim just wants a reaction. He wants an exchange. And when he doesn't get that, he just like goes for, "Oh, okay, well, I actually had this big reveal. Like, I can't die. Yeah, like, everything you did to me, it's literally nothing." Like, he no-sells all of the damage that he took. Like, it's pretty clear that he was trying to fight him
There's
in, like,
there's
his base.
There's also a
I mean,
statement that Rogel Dorn makes to Sanguinius right after that fight, and it's if Fulgrim really wanted to, he would have taken the wall all by himself. So I think really Dorn is fighting like a form of Fulgrim that doesn't give a rat's butt about the fight at all, and is just messing around.
Yeah.
So
just
I
trying to
think
get aura.
Dorn is probably back mid tier. Do we think he's really weaker than Perturabo though, and Morty?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Perturabo just has better feats. I think they just both have better feats if we're saying that Fulgrim's playing around with him. Like Alfarius, come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does
think it's
Dorn
like-
do against Samus in the Solar War? He kills him,
Samus
right?
was winning. Samus was like winning that fight.
Samus was
like-
winning?
They were clashing, like this, like reality was shrieking or whatever, and then we cut back, and Samus is like, his claws are like raking through Dorn.
Okay. So yeah, I guess we could put Dorn at the very back of mid. Do
But he's also like the strongest we've seen Samus have, though.
Yeah, but it's still a demon that Loken was able to kill. So
Okay, that though, he was only able to kill him because he was literally getting like whispered his like true
Yeah.
name and crap.
that's fair. Yeah. I think
I mean,
we'll
Doran's worst feat is his death because they're like dozens or tens of dozens of Space Marines kind of like crawled over him and killed him, like they beehived him. Corvus was killing hundreds of them on the battlefield. So I mean, I think
that's a fair
probably
point. Yeah.
means he's not even close to high tier.
Yeah. Okay. I agree. That's a good point, ZBK.
Yeah,
All right. Let's do the
yeah, because
con
Morty
next.
was.
We'll
Yeah, 'cause
save.
Morty was fighting Khan and all that.
Yeah. So let's do the con next. I think you could just put the
Let's put him
con
up there under Ferris.
right here.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
that's
Maybe
perfect.
like right here, or
Yeah,
right here.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think the hardest part is I think that these four characters are like so relative.
yeah.
It's a toss
yeah, I
up
would
of who
agree.
wins.
It's tough because Jagatai's only ever fights Morty, and Morty seems to have like a buff when he fights him at Prospero, and then he defeats a demon Primarch, which is really impressive, but he also dies in the attempt. So it's like, it's just hard. It's hard to do. Like you
I
can
think
put
you
him
have
like
to put him
here.
up
He was weaker than Demon Morty.
He was definitely weaker than
I'd
Demon
put
Morty.
him below. I'd put him below Fulgrim for sure, just because of that statement that he has, where Fulgrim's talking about fighting him, and he's like, "I would win. I would win because I know everything about you, and you know nothing about me. I would win because you would treat it as a game, and I would treat it as a normal battle." You know, like he's basically just saying, "Yeah, like I would win because you would just dick around," which obviously implies that, like, hey, if you weren't dicking around, yeah, you might.
Yeah, I was gonna say that kind of made
Yeah.
that serious Fulgrim might
It's-
cut his head off.
Yeah, it's just tough because like we see the con have like speed feats that are like absolutely insane, but then he can't seem to outpace a amped Mortarion who's like the slowest Primarch. It's
Yeah, because
weird.
Mortarion parries and blocks a lot of his blows.
Yeah, it's
Um,
weird. I don't know. Like, where would you scale a amped Mortarion who was fighting the con at Prospero? Would you just put him like right here, like he barely moves?
I don't know. Like I said, I think. Well, the issue with Perturabo versus Mortarion might also be a Metallo versus Superman thing, because I just don't know how likely the others are to just like see Mortarion with an evil aura and just start shooting him and make him walk towards you.
Yeah.
So is Perturabo just a hard counter to Mortarion, and Mortarion's actually higher?
I don't know,
I mean,
man.
what's his argument?
I
for him
don't
really
see.
beating- What's his argument for him beating any of the others above, though? Like,
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Oh, the only person above Perturabo is or only person above Mortarion is Perturabo. So we just move him into high, but below Jagatai.
even then,
I don't
like,
know if Mortarion's a high tier Primarch. I think if anything, you
Can-
have to move him down here like that.
low key though, could like Purdy beat Khan? Because couldn't Khan just like
no,
speed blitz past
No,
his guns
Purdy
and
could
shoot
not.
him?
no,
Like,
that's silly.
Yeah,
Get
I don't
outta
think-
here.
I think Khan should be high, and then Purdy's just the top of mid, right? Like that seems the most logical. I
But do
low-key
you
think Morty's a
think,
little
do
bit
you
of a
think the
Khan.
gap? Let me ask you this: do you think the gap between Jagatai and Mortarion is a tier?
No,
Yes.
I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think
it's-
so.
True.
It's weird because Mortarion is said to have like some physical changes to him that he's not himself anymore during Prospero. So that implies a chaos buff. Of course, a chaos buff. What type of chaos buff? We don't know. We can't really quantify it, but we know he's stronger in some way. So I think if we're
The way
saying
they
base
do-
Mortarion, then I think there is a difference in the tiers.
The way they speak about it though makes it seem like they're evenly matched. Because don't they fight like even before that? And they're like, "Oh, with us two working together, nobody can stop us, even the Emperor."
No, that was during that.
Gas
fight.
that
again,
actually-
by the way.
that actually
Yeah, he's
happens.
tweaking.
During the Scars fight. That actually happens during the Scars fight.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's weird because why is Mortarion so buddy with Khan then after accepting chaos at that point? That whole situation is low key weird then because bro's acting like he's chill with his bro Khan, like he hasn't turned into the dark god of smelliness. Like
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of people thought that Khan was gonna go traitor.
fair, yeah.
Yeah,
It's weird.
I think we could leave it like this maybe for right now. Like,
Yeah.
really? Do we think? I mean, yeah, because it's just weird because Ferrus Manus is literally relative to Fulgrim, essentially. And we don't think that Khan could beat Fulgrim, and thus Ferrus could not beat the Khan. Or Ferrus would beat the Khan.
There are also matchup things. Like, for example, I could see someone arguing that like Mortarion could potentially beat Onrad. I don't personally agree, but just because
I see
like
what you mean. Because endurance.
Mortarion's tanky enough, yeah, to just like eat fucking strikes from weak ass baby Conrad and then just like get some licks off.
Whoa, but okay,
If
whatever.
anything, I can see Khan definitely beating. I could definitely see Khan beating Ferris because Ferris low-key falls for rage bait easy as hell. Like he got rage baited on Isfan, and Khan would just rage bait him like he did Morty, and then like go for a decapitation again. I could see Khan doing that to Ferris. I don't think that's crazy.
It's like,
Like
the
how we
same.
can see Khan
these
beating
four, these four are just so.
It's like the same exact thing
Even.
for Korax. Like if we put the Khan over Ferris, we have to put him over Fulgrim because they're just so.
No, I
also
agree
just don't
with-
see Korax
I'm
getting
seeing
rage
what TJ's saying, where it's like, I think that Korax less so because he's like turning in fucking invisible and speed blitzing you, but Jagatai is more of like he's a fast like he's just a fast sword fighter. So
Very agile.
I
if
mean,
he
yeah,
could
I guess
take
that makes
Ferris,
sense.
I don't think that means he beats Fulgrim.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy to have Ferris over Khan and like raw power. It's just like I think Khan can beat Fulgrim too, but I think Fulgrim's stronger. Just like how Khan says, Khan doesn't think he's better than Fulgrim overall, but he knows Fulgrim's gonna fall for the bait, and then Khan's gonna like go try hard when they least expect it and fuck him up. Like it's really just Ferris and Fulgrim are very susceptible to rage bait. I ain't gonna lie. Like they're very easily baitable. We see both of them get rage baited during Isman, and it worked very effectively. So it's like
It's
tough.
Well, isn't Ferris the second strongest Primarch too, or at least top 3?
Typically,
he's top 2.
Yeah.
It's
Top
really
two.
between
he's
him and
top
Vulcan.
two.
Like I
Vulcan
don't
1,
know.
Ferris 2.
It's speed
Yeah.
versus strength, and Ferris was able to fight Fulgrim, who's one of the strongest dueling Primarchs, and they were drawing. So
And
wouldn't you
Fulgrim's
say
like top
Yeah.
3.
Would you say that-
made Loki?
Wouldn't you say that Ferris is
But
over
that's
Jagatai
also-
then?
Yeah, like I
The
said, I can
thing
see him
is-
being over but losing.
I think all
The
three.
thing
of them,
is, I feel like we need to give Khan. Look, if we're talking specifically in the context of Khan versus Fulgrim, I think we need to. I know we're talking about Khan versus Ferris, but hear me out. I think we need to put Khan in Fulgrim's shoes. Give Khan the hammer. Is he beating Ferris?
No.
Because I really think the hammer just fucking sucks for a speed Primarch. It's just not a finesse weapon at all. It's not even really. It's not even a good dueling weapon.
And Khan
that's
even
actually
worse.
such an excellent point.
Yeah, that was
I
a
think that's
really
such an
good
excellent
point.
Because
Yeah,
then it
Khan's
goes
not gonna
down
do nearly
to,
as good.
Is the Khan? But then, no, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I
Khan
think
leads heavy into that like strafe hit and run thing. It's just not
Yeah.
gonna work with a hammer.
yeah. I think we go Khan, Ferris, Fulgrim, Korax. I think that's even though they're all really close to each other, I think that's like the best way to interpret this one.
Just like how I also
Mhm.
low-key see like everybody, those 4 below Sanguinius are pretty close and could all beat each other in a situation. Like I
Yeah.
don't think that's crazy
Yeah.
either.
Okay, we'll do Lehman Russ next. Wait, do we agree with this? Do we agree with this, fellas? I think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we're doing a freaking great job. I'm very proud of you, of all of us right now. We're kicking some
Russ
butt.
has to go over like
Yeah.
I
Conrad,
come back
right?
with my
I got-
my Russ over Angron.
Yeah, I think
I got Russ
beg.
right here.
That's
I got
right.
Russ right here, but I will give ZBK the
I
floor.
agree.
Let's hear your argument for Lehman
I
Russ
think-
over Angron.
I think that if you want to, I think even if you want to take it as Angron beat Lehman. Now, Illuminator showed me the end of that fight. Angron actually did not have Russ dead to rights. Russ like grabbed his boot and threw him off, and then ran away. Like they were still within speaking distance. He didn't run away, but he like he crawled forward a few feet and stood back up, and he was
Not making
still
it sound
able to
better.
fight. So I don't think it's even fair to say that Angron beat Russ. I think he had an advantage in that moment, but I don't know if I could say he beats Russ. And then Russ's 2 other feats are scaling to the 2 best skilled Primarchs in skill. I think if we're going off of feats in Primarch fights, he has 2 feats that are astronomical and 1 feat that's pretty good.
I don't think he
Because
has
he
any
does
anti-feats either.
outduel Angron. He outduels Angron. Angron cannot hang with him axes to sword. He just can't.
He don't got any anti-feats either. I'm not gonna
He doesn't
lie.
have
Like
any
I gotta go with.
anti-feats
That's one of the big things with this scaler too. We gotta go with consistency. That's why like I can't argue that Conrad or like Vulcan are lower because like at their peaks they got some crazy shit, but they also got some of the craziest inconsistent, downright terrible.
Yeah, they got some
anti-feats.
crazy outliers. I
Both of
see
them
you.
get reacted to by John.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
See, I see your argument,
It's
ZBK,
wild.
and you could, like you said, you said you like he might have been holding back. You know what I mean? I just like
Yeah.
I don't see how we could put Russ over Angron when they dueled. Lehman Russ disarmed Angron first, then Angron broke Lehman Russ's sword. They scrapped for a little bit, and then Angron landed up on top. Wasn't a true victory, but it did have Angron coming out ahead. And with that limited information, I think we could put Angron over Lehman Russ. But it's pretty damn close, and I see your arguments because he did beat Magnus straight up. Even, well, not straight up. There's a lot of
Straight up.
context. A lot of context there, but he did beat Magnus, and he did land a wound on post-Moloch Horus, which is quite insane, even with this Dionysian spear. So
Angron also
I'd like
doesn't have
to
crazy
present
anti-feats.
my last and greatest piece of
oh my
evidence.
God, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Demon Angron is not overwhelmingly stronger than the Lion, and Demon Angron's obviously physically stronger than Angron, and Lehman Russ is confirmed stronger than the Lion. So is that not further proof that if Angron was able to outmuscle Lehman, who has confirmed solid scaling of someone who scales to him physically as a Demon Prince or a Demon Primarch, I think that should further prove that he was holding back. Because if he was fighting at full strength, I don't think that there's any way that you can argue that Angron in base overpowers Lehman the way that he did.
See, but
If
I
Lehman scales to
I
Lion.
see what you
Like
mean.
described, Lehman's barely over Lion in strength.
I don't think it's also crazy to say that like Angron and Russ are pretty much in the same spot, but Russ is more skilled. Like have Russ fighting against somebody who's more skill based, and he's gonna do way better than Angron. Angron
Yeah.
absolutely is a massive stat check to most of the other Primarchs. Like he doesn't just outskill the other Primarchs. He's mostly just too ferocious and too much of a berserker that they can't stop him. Angron does not have the like skill, I feel like, in a lot of the matchups.
Yeah.
Russ is slightly weaker stats than Angron, but more skill, so he got a bit more finesse to make him match people like
Yeah.
Fulgrim, Lion, etc. Especially when you compare him to like the Conrad versus Lion, and Russ being able to somewhat match Lion for a while, and Russ also being able to deal with like still even be able to match with Angron, with
See-
Angron being so ferocious
Yeah.
and physically powerful.
It's a
Yeah,
weird.
I just think Aegron is just way too wily for us, to be honest. Like, I mean, he's one of the stronger Primarchs, probably third strongest Aegron. And durability in the Butcher's Nails, he's not gonna
He's not going to stop fighting until
he's not gonna
dead.
stop fighting until he's dead. And
Yeah. Well,
And
here-
Lehman just wasn't willing to kill him. That's Lehman just was not willing to kill him.
And who's gonna
I
die
think
first?
Angron
but
was
I
the
don't think
biggest, like,
Angron was
massive
trying to
threat
kill
there.
Lehman Russ either. And you could, ZBK, you could make the argument that Angron, it's stated he was visibly wounded fighting Lehman Russ. You could even say Angron had a slight nerf on it. I'm not going to say like that fully discredits Lehman Russ because the wounds are never brought up again. Like it doesn't say it impacted him. So I'm not going to use that as an argument. But here, I'm going to completely diverge here. If we put Lehman Russ over Angron, we have to put Lehman Russ all the way up here.
I don't think that's
No,
ridiculous because I think if we go by matchup by
Context,
matchup,
man.
Vulcan doesn't have the skill feats. Lehman has skill feats comparable to Lion and Horse. That's Vulcan. Kurz,
Lehman also
his
did better
main
than
thing
Kurz.
is slipping in and out of darkness. Lehman Russ has the senses to be able to smell
Yeah.
him. He's not like He's not like Korax where he eliminates himself from your perception. You can still sense him because that's how Lion was tracking him. And I think if at the very least Lehman has comparable senses to the Lion, if not superior, right?
Yeah.
And also, he has a really good sense of smell, and I'm not even trying to be funny here.
Curse stinks.
You know, Curse smells like unfettered dog
Shit,
shit.
like he actually smells like shit. Yeah, it's commented on multiple times.
Yeah, like
It's literally commented on.
Well, Curse probably smells like hand sanitizer and like shit. Like
what an awful
Yeah, like-
combo.
Kurz is
Just-
literally every time he's described in his appearance, he's literally described as looking chopped as hell and smelling bad. So like,
yeah, he probably smells like pure rubbing alcohol and on top of like garbage.
So
Yeah.
here's my argument. I think the Lion should go here. Oh, oops, here. And since Lehman Russ fought the Lion so evenly, I think you could make
that's not crazy.
that argument because
That's
he
not crazy.
defeats Conrad
Oh, come on.
Kurz not in the span of 3 days. It's maybe a couple hours. Lehman Russ and the Lion sparred for 3 straight fucking days. And you could make
That's not
the
crazy.
and I think you could put the Lion over Lehman because the Lion disarmed Lehman Russ so early on. But that is only if you can argue that Lehman Russ is over Angron.
I think even if you want to say Angron beats Lehman, I think that's another Metallo versus Superman because as we just went through, based on what Lehman has, he does beat Vulcan and he is beating Kurz. And I don't think that Angron's beating Vulcan or Kurz. I stand by that he's not beating Vulcan.
We can low-key also argue Conrad is super context man because we've only ever seen him fight in literally the best possible scenarios
It's
for
so
him to
That's
fight.
true.
It's so true.
He was able to beat Vulcan multiple times while stripping Vulcan butt booty naked and having him in a labyrinth he designed. He was only able to match Lion and Gilliman and Sengi by getting the surprise on them, moving from darkness to darkness, and actively doing everything to like make civilians hurt. Like he threatened G-Man's mom. With Sengi, he had to actively like attack his servants and people we cared about, so Sengi couldn't abuse his fight or like his flight or fly away. That's the only reason Sengi didn't really like fly away and do all that, because he was trying to protect somebody else. With Lion, he tried to always be slimy and like get the drop and first hits on him, as well as jump from alley to alley. You could low-key argue Conrad's just below Vulcan, and even argue he's lower than Angron and Russ. I don't
Well,
think
this
that's
is.
super crazy.
I think Prime Kurz is still beating Angron because of the precog. Like
Yeah.
his precog is still like.
That's
Even
true.
with that
That's
said, when the thing against the precog is Lion and Kurz, they're just dueling flat out, standing in front of each other. So that's
Yeah.
like the best display of his dueling.
I don't think Angron's fast enough to be able to do something different. Low-key, Vulcan, besides his crazy anti-feats with like Grammaticus, he has some other times where he was like super fast, like with his hammer swings unarmored, were able to catch Conrad off guard, even with the foresight. Like he has some weird inconsistent speed.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes
weird.
he's slower than basic human to where he's able to swing fast enough Conrad can't keep up. So I don't think it's crazy to put like Angron a bit higher and low-key lower like Conrad down.
I don't.
I
So that's the
think
problem.
it's
Is
I think
is-
you could move up Vulcan. I don't think you can take. I don't think you can say Kurz is losing to Angron. I just.
I
don't.
think-
Yeah, I was gonna say like move Angron.
I think Angron's like, you're gonna have to
Vulcan
kill me,
above-
and Kurz is like, okay. I
Yeah, I was
don't
saying
care.
like just move
Because-
Vulcan above Kurz, low key.
Yeah,
And then you can maybe argue like Russ is over Angron and Kurz because of what he's
See,
shown.
I think
Because honestly,
Russ is nay-naying on Vulcan. I just don't think Vulcan has the
Okay.
feats to not get his head sliced.
But okay, are we even sure that Kurz is this? Are we moving him back? Because in the Angels of Caliban, like the Lion has to go all out to defend against Kurz, and the Lion is probably the best duelist here. Like, do we really want to
he
move
did use his
Kurz back here?
He did
Like,
use his super
That
free
is
cog,
true.
but even during that fight, like eventually they started dueling flat out. But didn't he still get the drop on Lion? Like, and
He
he's
did
been
get the drop on
harassed.
him at first.
And
but
keep
that
in
was, like,
mind,
that
they've
was
been
more
harassing
on
him.
during the fight though. Like that was later
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
fight after
Yeah, true.
Kurz had run
And he
away
pushes-
2 or 3 times. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm also
Actually,
saying. Like,
low
Kurz was running
Herculously,
away.
you
Like,
might still be able to put Kurz above Russ. Because Kurz pushed Lion to a point that we've never seen him
that's
go
a
Ultra
good
Instinct
point,
again.
ZBK. Good.
We've
point.
never seen him do that again. Now that
I just need to see Kurz also fight in an open field, bro. Like, Kurz gets too much of the goat. Like, Russ is context man, bro, but Loki Kurz is context man too. We've just seen him fight in literally the best possible places he can fight, where he could keep hitting and running versus Lion. Like, of course he's gonna push Lion away when he can get the drop on him. Go crazy with foresight, run back, get the drop on
Kurz
him.
just
Go
knows
crazy
all the
with
spots
foresight.
to be at.
Like,
knows the spots to fight at.
Russ and Korax like pretty close friends.
Were they?
Russ,
Are they?
yeah, Russ does like Korax. Yeah, they are actually pretty close. Like,
Okay,
he
so
saved
when-
Russ too from the World Eaters and shit. It was the
Oh,
World
yeah,
Eaters,
during
the
the
only
heresy.
Lion and Sanguinius could have beaten Angron. I mean,
and then
he was
Lion got
young
kind
like
of
Russ
mad
could
because
have.
he thought Korax like slimed out Russ, and then Russ was like, "Chill, bro. Korax is like chill." Russ and Korax are actually pretty close friends.
I'm just give me Russ above Angron and we can.
I'm
Just- I
thinking
swear.
right now, because like
Put
I
Vulcan
think
above
I
Kurz,
feel like
please.
I don't see
Vulcan
Vulcan
above Kurz.
I don't see Vulcan over Kurz, man. Because they were very close. Like, the Lion is obviously better, but like ZBK said, he had to push him to use his Ultra Instinct to counter his precognition. I don't know if any other Primarch besides Sanguinius can do that in base. At least.
True. I just need to see Kurz fight in a place where he's not like at a super advantage. Like,
Yeah,
it's crazy because Lion has good reflexes, right? But like, he can't smell Kurz like Russ could. Russ would have a better
Yeah.
time with that because Lion, he had to react every time Kurz popped out of the shadows, and he has the reflexes and speed to do it, sure. But like, Kurz is not gonna be able to do that same thing versus Russ, and he's probably not gonna be able to do the same thing versus Agron because Agron's just gonna chase after him into the shadows and not get confused by the mind games. Like, this dropping from the shadows thing is not going to work on other people besides Lion who have a counter to it. I just don't see like Kurz in an open field without being able to constantly run away and then jump back out from the shadows, being able to do that to Lion. Like, if we had this, let's say Lion was at Isvan and he fought, like, it was Logar, instead of Logar and Korax, it was Lion and Kurz fighting. Do you really think that Kurz would be able to push Lion like that
So-
when he couldn't retreat and then jump back out?
There's actually, from Prince of Crows, there's actually a scene where Sevatar watches Kurz fight the Lion, and Sevatar remarks that it's the first time he's ever seen his Primarch fight evenly since the Dropsite Massacre, and the Lion and Kurz are going blow for blow. So they're
Mhm.
Yeah.
they're equally matched there. So
Unfortunately, everyone, I'm gonna have to leave.
oh crap.
Peace out.
Oh man.
Well, it was a pleasure
Have
having
a
you,
good day.
Krabby.
Now's the time to put Vulcan into
All right, so
full gun.
Vulcan, I'm
Freeman
thinking
last,
rain
Freeman
out here.
You forget I'm still here.
Hold down the fort, Musty. Glad I made it this far
I
in the
just
door.
saw that you put Magnus in Force Ghost, and
Yeah,
I
you
like
like that?
had to cover my mouth so I wasn't laughing while ZBK was talking.
The
Have a
thing
good
is,
night.
even with Sevatar's good night, even the thing with Sevatar saying
Thanks,
that he hasn't had an even fight like this since Isvan, right? That makes sense because we agree that the people at Isvan were weaker than Lion, and Kurz was in an open field. So of course he's gonna have a harder time fighting there. If it's the fact that he had to go an even fight with Lion,
in a better scenario that makes it like, even in context, I feel like it still agrees that Kurz would not performed as good if he wasn't on McCrag, if he was going even on Isfan without any of the extra cover versus weaker opponents. And now against a stronger opponent, the Lion, he's having to literally pull every trick out of his bag. He has to put his foresight on max. He has to dodge and dip out of it. He has to constantly get the jump on Lion, taking breaks. While Lion, like, think of the mental games of this too. That's what I'm saying. Like, Loki, Agrod wouldn't fall for this mental game because he's too dumb. Lion has to literally wait there each time.
I don't think it's
Kurz
about him being
leaves.
dumb. Like, he can't track it. He can't track him.
I'm
Yeah,
saying-
he's
he
just gonna
can
run.
chase him into the shadows. Okay, and then you get
Yeah,
so he
like,
comes
my
on top of
point
your
is,
head and
like,
cuts your head off.
I don't
Like,
think
that's what
this
I'm
is
saying.
really like a Kurz super thing. I think it's more so the fact that Lion's going to wait and hold the defensive position and constantly be antsy of Kurz having to jump out, which is an insane mental game because Kurz can just keep. He can take as long as a break as he wants. He can leave, go into the shadows, take a cool down. Lion's gonna still be on guard 24/7, not being able to rest. Or as soon as Lion tries to rest, Kurz swings back in on with the advantage and less rest. My point is more so I don't think Kurz is like super low or like it's making him way weaker, but I do think it's not crazy to put Kurz a little bit lower down because even with the Lion, like even super Kurz with him fighting Lion, still needed to take breaks and still needed to jump in and out and like super abuse his ability to stealth against Lion. Because if we're saying that like situation occurs, I don't think Korax would have performed that much worse in that situation either. If we're talking just being able to abuse shadow hopping and then going back in, it would have been even worse because Lion wouldn't have been able to perceive him because you can't see Korax with the invisibility shit. So it would have been low-key even worse.
But I don't know
That's
if
why I
there's
don't think
like
it's crazy.
that. I don't know if there's that big of a gap between Kurz jumping in and out of the shadows that it would be like a reset on his stamina or anything. I think he's ducking away and he's coming back in, and the Lion has to seriously put up a really good fight against Kurz to not lose. And the Lion is one of the best duelists, if maybe the best duelist. So
I think it's more so the constant like getting surprised and having to always
I
be
see
on
what you
guard
mean,
compared
though.
to controlling the situation. Like Kurz was in control of the entire situation to the point he could like pop out and not necessarily get a break and like recover all of his stamina, but he could pop out, take a second to analyze the situation while Lion has to be on high alert, paranoid whenever Kurz jumps out. Kurz can control the battle to the point where he can then pop out, get Lion at the point he wants to, press Lion more, pop out, do it again, controlling the entire time. Like
Hit him from
any
a new
Primarch
angle.
besides even Lions, like even Sengi, when we saw Kurz fight Sengi had to do the same thing. Kurz was having to dip and dodge and then pop out on Sengi again while also defending somebody else. So I don't think it's even just a Lion exclusive thing. Like Sengi was also pressed by the fact of just being able to constantly hop out and surprise attack.
I don't think
If it's
Kurz
out
was
of the-
hopping around against the Sanguinius fight. I think there was like it was just a straight up fight, and Sanguinius they drew because of their foresight. But I think Sanguinius would have probably won if he actually had armor on instead of a bathrobe. So
I think he also couldn't use his flight either because like he was trying to protect somebody because Kurz was trying to like be a menace and kill somebody around Sengi
in
or
that
something.
in that scene he had taken what's his name, Ascalon hostage and planted a bomb on his heart. So if he died, it would blow up the whole throne room. Which spoiler, well, no, I don't think he dies. I think it's like attached to his arm or something, and then his arm gets cut
Sengi
off.
was trying to protect him too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sengi
but-
was also trying to protect him.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but it's just like he fights the Lion to like a high diff. Like it's hard for the Lion to win that fight.
They
True. I don't think he's, like,
They
swayed
also
over.
have a fight. Like I think the moment where he activates the instinct is when they're like just full on fighting in an open field. Like it's just a duel by that point. Like I think all of what you're saying is valid if it wasn't for at the very end where the two of them are just, and it's not even just that one moment. They're in Savage Weapons, the two of them are exchanging blows and Lion's not able to get through his guard immediately. And I just don't think that Angron and Vulcan have any skill feats on that level. Like I said, Lehman just straight up disarms Angron. Angron can't hang with Lehman. The brawling, you can have an argument there, depending on how you feel about him holding back, whatever. But like but Lehman beats him in a duel. Angron's
definitely
not
more
like
skilled.
that.
Yeah,
Vulcan
he's more skilled.
has no skill feats. Vulcan has none. Vulcan has no skill feats. Vulcan
That's what I'm
never
saying. I don't
fought
think it's
Prime
crazy
Curse.
to put Russ over Conrad because I
See-
think in the open field, like, I don't know, bro. Because you got to remember, even before that open field thing, there was a lot of build up to that. That Lion has to get pushed. He had to learn Angron, like, learn Kurz's fighting style more. Because this was him harassing them over, like, days on end, like, terrorizing people in the streets and, like, randomly harassing him and Gilliman. I feel like low key, Russ and Lion. And Russ being able to hang with Lion for that long, for 3 days, on like one of their first spouts, without having to like constantly harass him and like slowly analyze him and plan and do all of that, I think that low key skill wise should put Russ a bit above Kurz.
Here's my
I
counter
know, I agree
argument.
with you.
See, I understand your argument, and I could see this, but the thing is, the Lion disarms Lehman Russ pretty early on in their fight, and obviously that doesn't end the duel. But Conrad Kurz
Yeah, he could.
also dueled the Lion, and I would argue that from the period of time the Lion disarmed Lehman Russ was far quicker than how long it took the Lion to beat Kurz. Do you see what I'm saying?
I can see that.
I mean,
Kurz is just weird.
I don't know. It's fucking
I really
weird.
just need to see Kurz. I need to see Kurz fight somebody in an open field. Really, it's like what I really
here's
need.
one. Here's one. Here's them fighting in, what is it? Angels of Caliban. This is them just fighting. This is just a straight up duel. You can't kill me, Roars, lancing a claw towards the Lion's throat. The blow deflected by a last minute swing of his short sword. You don't kill me. The words seemed to settle Kurz, though the ferocity of his attack did not relent. A dozen new rents opened up across the Lion's armor amidst the flood of blows. He felt the burn of a near-miss sear across his forehead, momentarily blinding him in his right eye. You have to accept it, Kurz spat. You don't kill me. I'm redeemed. My life takes place. Blah, blah. He's just tweaking at this point. He parries another blow and stops giving ground. The Lion's sword leapt up as though fueled by its own life force, tip plunging through Kurz's right forearm, planting him to the wall of the court. So Lion's clearly better than him, but Kurz in like an open duel is not just getting negged by the Lion. Like he's landing blows.
I don't
Lion
know.
is clearly better, but
Lion's
it's not
better.
like it's completely lopsided.
It's
Yeah,
not
my
like
point
a-
isn't that like Kurz loses all his like insane top tier set when he's not in a favorable environment. My point is like with him pushing Lion to have to go stronger. Clearly, when they fight, even Prime Kurz, when he was fighting in the open duel, Lion was superior. I think it's the whole fact that Kurz was harassing them for days and then was able to get the jump a few times and then pushed them out into the open field. Like he had to do. Lion was under way more pressure than Kurz even before the open duel fight. That even when they got to the open duel fight and Kurz was super duper locked in with super foresight, Lion was still superior.
I mean, I don't think
Versus
pressure
Russ, who was
matters
able
to
to
the
do it
Lion.
versus 3 days. 3 days
Lion-
of straight dying.
But the Lion kept his nerve when all of Caliban was on the line. And Demon Angron swinging at him with the sword the size of 2 monster trucks. I don't think pressure really matters to him. Like I think you can make that argument for some people, but I just don't think that him being like, oh, if he gets me, I'm gonna die. I don't think he. I think in his head, the Lion's like, I'm gonna cut him in half. Cut him in half. I'm gonna cut him in half. Like I think that's just. I don't think he ever.
True,
had
his focus
fear
do
of
be
losing.
locked in. His
Yeah.
focus do be locked in.
And to be honest, this might be Glaze. Even the stuff of Kurz and him scrapping, and he's like slicing open the Lion's armor and almost like slices into his eye. This might be crazy. I don't think Angron and Vulcan are doing that. I think the fact that
It's not
Lehman,
ridiculous.
because I don't think is it even stated that Angron landed a blow on Lehman? Like they
I think he
fought
put
and
his
tumbled,
ha-
and then he tackles him.
He put his foot on his throat. I don't know if you count that as a blow though.
Well, after he tackles him, so after it gets into the ball, during the duel, I think they're just clashing weapons, and then Rush just disarms him.
Yeah, he
That's
did.
not crazy.
Like,
I mean, yeah,
I
because
don't
Angron
think
fucking
Angron
sucks
tagged.
still.
Angron and Vulcan
Suck.
stink. They genuinely might not even be able to land a blow on the most top. We see Horus versus Angron. And if Horus is not massively amped, and that's what the Lion's skill is like, Horus, Angron gets one kickoff. Angron gets one kickoff, and Horus is like, okay.
Lock in.
That's what I'm like.
Okay, time to teach this kid a lesson.
Sucks,
Yeah.
like skill wise.
Angron
If it
fights
wasn't-
Angron fights Horus for 2. Just put this into context. Angron fights Horus for 2 minutes, and then he's like, I need to use a suicide move. I can't get him. I can't get him.
I'm not gonna lie, if it wasn't for the Korak statement himself at the time, and the fact that Angron has such busted stats, I would put Korax. Like, skill-wise, he's just better than Angron and Vulcan, like, skill-wise, but he doesn't have the insane stats of the high. And also, I think his stats aren't as crazy as, like, Lion. Like, Kurz has crazy foresight. It's really how you want to see his invisibility. Because Loki, I can see Korax definitely beating Vulcan. Like, it turns invisible, jump packs behind you, and stabs you in the back.
That's
like,
not ridiculous. That's not
like,
ridiculous.
It's really
That
just
is
Angron
ridiculous.
is too much of... Angron's too ferocious to the point that, like, his stats are so fucking crazy all around. Like, top 3 strength, insane endurance because Butcher's nails, so unpredictable to the point he's going to hit you with a 360, like, spin around like a Beyblade. But his skill sucks, bruh. His skill is one of the worst. Like, I feel like most of the top tiers, Khan's more skilled. Fulgrim's more skilled. Russ is more skilled. Angron's just the craziest stat check of
It's
any
just
of the
like
high
if you
tiers.
gave, it's just like if you gave a weapon to like.
See,
the-
I don't know,
the method.
guys. Like, Angron literally was fighting in the new Seraph fighting pit since he was 12, so he's got to be a little skilled. You know what I mean?
I don't think he's like. It's not like
He's
he's
not
super ass skilled. It's just
actually
he fights like an
buns.
actual barbarian, bruh. Like we say, Russ.
You
He just-
might
he
be
just
able to
reckless
make an
attacks.
argument that Angron's more skilled as like an E dragon. He unironically has better skill feats as a dragon.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Okay, so it all depends. I feel like on how we want to look at. Can someone bring up Wolfsbane? Let's look at the Horus fight real quick. With the Dionysian spear. Let's just let's talk about how nerfed Horus is, and then we'll make our judgment. Because I feel like you can make this argument, or you can just leave him here.
I've actually got it right here.
Oh,
Or you could slightly move Vulcan down. I think Vulcan's like stat wise one of the craziest. I just don't think he has the skill feats yet. I think he beats Angron because of. I think he's slowed a bit more skill than Angron, and he's also just physically stronger than Angron. I'm all right with this. This doesn't seem crazy. I think Korax could beat Vulcan because it's better skill, but I don't think he's beating Angron because he says he can't.
Yeah. Well, it's just okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Lehman has a statement that says mayhaps he can't beat Kurz and Sanguinius. We know the Lion disarmed Lehman Russ quite early on, while Kurz lasted much longer. So that's my argument. I think Kurz over Lehman. I see what you mean, ZBK. And since the Lion and Russ went so even after he disarmed him, it's kind of, it's just like tough, man, because there's also just a direct fight between Angron and Russ that he loses. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he just loses.
Well, like I said, I don't know. He gets put on his back, but then Lehman Russ, like Angron doesn't let him up. Lehman Russ pushes him off and then gets back up, and they're back to.
I see what you mean. So it's not like a full-on loss, so to say.
No,
it's more just kind of. Well, yeah. That's weird. Okay,
I can see this, Loki. I can see this list as being fine, to be honest. But we just have to note that, like, I feel like Korax and Russ can both beat Vulcan, but Vulcan beats Angron, and Angron beats those two. I don't think that's like ridiculous.
Plus, I'm saying Angron never beat Russ. Like, I don't think we should give Angron defeat the position over Russ for a fight that didn't finish. A fight that didn't finish.
I mean,
and regardless of whether you think Lehman came in with the point, at some point during that fight, he realized, I could just have my sons kill this dude. Because
I think it's
that's confirmed what he says. And then in the same book, Lorgar says, and of course, you know, if you disagree, that's fine. This isn't against you. But he says that was the most, like, insane outplay in Astartes history. And if you think that you actually beat Russ, you're a fool. And I think the author is trying to say something. Oh, here he goes meta-analyzing books again. But I think the author who wrote that fight then had Lorgar say that. I think that means something. Yeah,
Lorgar also said Magnus was the strongest. Lorgar also was the only
Magnus
one who said
was
Magnus
the strongest.
Yeah.
Okay. Read the excerpt, ZBK, about the Dionysian spear. Did it
the whole fight, or just like this?
Just like that it's like near the end or like near the very beginning. It's about how he thrust it into Horus's light. I wanna see if there's any like explicit mention of how like quantified that nerf is, or if it's, you know what I mean?
It says Loken was right. Russ thought he could simply not beat whatever this thing was. Russ was far from defenseless. Reflexes saved him from crushing blows. When the War Master's hellish minions rushed in to assist their master, Russ skewered them efficiently. His ability with the blade kept the War Master back, and for once he was glad of the spear's reach. The weapon lent him arcane power of his own, each thrust arced with lightning that stabbed at the ground. Sheets of light trailed its blade as he swept it round his head to slash at his brother. Where the lightning caught upon the corrupted surfaces of the hall, filth curled back and the warped decoration twisted. When the spear sheared into the unholy light surrounding Horus, it shrank away, writhing from the spear's edge. Truly, the Emperor had gifted him with a portion of his own might. It was a wordling blade, steeped in the energies of the Underverse. Whoa. A weapon from myth.
You're good.
The rust
you're good.
whirled, the spear thrummed. And then the fight pretty much just continues. Like, it doesn't say that he starts landing blows on Horus is still manhandling.
Okay, so here's my thoughts on that. So the spear it's nerfing Horus, but this post-Davin Horus with not even nearly the strength of Moloch Horus, no diff.
Angron's ass.
No diff to Angron.
So
I think Lehman's above.
I think Lehman is number 5. I think Lehman's number 5 because Horus is if he's being nerfed, he's probably near the post-Davin form, and Lehman is still putting up a better fight than Angron.
Even if he was weaker than the post-Davin
ZBK,
form,
I don't know how the fuck you convinced me to do that, but somehow you did.
Hell yeah.
Like, even if he was weaker,
yeah.
even if he was weaker than post-Davin, though, like if post-Davin wasn't a big buff, or if it was a big buff, base Horus would still have to be like near Agron's level to be able to know dip him with a slight buff.
Yeah.
So even if he was weaker than Davin form, he still did way better than Agron.
Yeah, so
way better.
I gotta give it, and it makes sense that the Lion would be closer to Lehman Russ because they fought for 3 straight days, even with the disarming feat. Now the only thing is do we leave Vulcan here and that's it?
I think Lehman can kill Vulcan.
Musty, what's your counter argument to that?
Well, literally, Vulcan's fucking strongest. I literally think that the way Russ fights, he would have to. I legitimately think that Russ would have to beat Vulcan because Vulcan has 3 lives in this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said.
3.
I think he would have to completely change the way that he fights. The way that he fights is a way that Vulcan can just out-tank and overpower him in the way that Russ fights, because Russ is like a counter attacker and he's up close and personal, right? And the way that we've seen both of them fight, I really don't think that. I feel like Russ would be able to get him once, maybe get him twice, but I really don't think that he's going to be able to kill him 3 times before Vulcan.
I'm not gonna lie, that's not crazy.
I think it is. I push up my glasses. I think it is crazy only because Lehman's stronger than Lion, and Lion does have feats of relativity to Demon Angron. And Vulcan.
I didn't think this was Vulcan with 3 lives. Like, if we think Vulcan base is decently high like this, you're having to run through like.
You gotta remember, Vulcan's armor is stated to be the best.
The strongest.
Not one of the best. He's stated to be the best.
100%. But do you think that his helmet is stronger than the average Primarch breastplate?
Vulcan?
So ZBK's
helmet,
probably, yeah.
ZBK's essentially saying
based on what?
Do you think a Primarch strength would not be able to damage Vulcan's armor? Like, do we know that Vulcan or Lehman Russ could not just one-shot his armor? Like, do we have any examples of Vulcan's armor tanking anything that's like obscenely strong?
It did tank that nuke full on without damage, but you could argue it was better against like heat stick. It also would upskill off of
Yes.
Purdy Sit. Purdy Sit was taking Demon Angron. I don't even think it's the armor factor.
Well, that's
If you don't even
They
think
had
Vulcan's
to-
a high tier.
They had
but
to
that's
do
the
him
point.
because
That's the-
nobody
well, that's
was
the
stopping
point.
him.
if you think that his armor scales to the logo, the lion scales to a stronger Demon Angron than the one that split open Perturabo's armor.
Yeah, ZB.
Like-
Yeah, my
like-
point is more so.
I see
My
what
point
you
is more
mean.
so. Even if we don't think Vulcan is a high tier Primarch, bruh, and we think he's like mid or top of mid, it's 3 lives. I didn't realize it was Vulcan with 3 lives.
Three
He
lives.
instantly resurrects. If it's with 3 lives, I just don't see how it can be lower. To be honest, like if it's 3 lives. Like, imagine any of the others with 3 lives. Give Angron 3 lives. Give Korax 3 lives.
Well,
give
most of
Fulgrim
the-
3 eyes.
These
Yeah,
guys
but
that
the
are
others are
skill
also
feats
like
that
I mean,
better than Vulcan.
I could
And
see.
you got to remember, like even if Russ's attack can break his armor, the likelihood that it's going to break his armor and do any meaningful amount of damage to Vulcan isn't very high.
Well, what's
Especially when
it's
Russ
the
will
same
get
argument
tired.
that I've been using this entire time. When Kurz is like normal, the Lion's able to fight him with so much ease that he's Lion's relative to Horus, who manhandled Angron, who has better skill feats than Vulcan. Like you can genuinely make the argument at this point with all the stuff that we have for high tiered skilled Primarchs that Vulcan cannot touch Lehman.
Yeah, it's
Vulcan
really
doesn't
just
have
like
Vulcan doesn't have any skill.
Yeah, it's
I
it's
think
tough.
the biggest
I will
thing.
I will say this, and this is you can take this however you want. It is stated that Fulgrim can match Vulcan in prowess, whatever prowess that means. We don't
Fulgrim's
know.
not that good compared to the Lion and Lehman. Fulgrim
Yeah,
has
we got
worse
Fulgrim at-
feats than
what is
the
this?
Lion and
1,
Lehman.
2, 3,
No, but
4,
Fulgrim
5,
is
6, 7,
good.
8, 9.
And
We
you're
got-
saying-
Fulgrim's good, but Fulgrim
Yeah.
doesn't have feats on the level of Lion and Lehman.
I think the real thing is, Vulcan's just gonna purely out endurance. Like if
Yeah,
they're killing
like-
him and he gets fresh revive, like they're gonna get tired, bruh.
Lehman fought for 3 days. Hey,
Hey, bruh, but if you think
Not
he's
against
if he
gonna be able
kills
to kill
him once
three
per
times,
day.
he's gonna get tired eventually, bruh.
No, he's not. No,
He's
but TJ,
gonna hell,
no, literally, no, he's not because he fought for 3 days.
Yeah,
On the
Loki
third
did
day,
stay
they
there,
were
bruh.
tired.
Going all
I
out.
don't
Yeah,
know.
but
He has
third
to
day
fight-
they were
He has to
tired.
fight. He has to do that without getting hit even once. If Vulcan gets a
Right,
fucking hit
by-
on him,
by-
if
by a
Vulcan
dude-
gets a hit on him, Russ is gonna be a fucking splatter
Okay.
on the ground.
But
I'm not
Vulcan's
gonna lie.
slower. Vulcan's slower than Kurz and less skilled than Angron. And Lion went no hit. I mean,
Vulcan was
once
able
again,
to Vulcan was able to hit Kurz like fast
When
enough
he
for
tried.
Kurz.
that's
Kurz
not
even-
that's not prime. That's not prime.
See,
Kurz.
Kurz,
That
it's-
same
It's
Kurz.
not- it's-
That
it's
same.
not prime
But
Vulcan
Musty,
either,
Musty,
though.
Musty.
It's
I
not
hear you
prime
on that.
Vulcan
That
either.
is a
Musty,
Madden.
I hear you on that.
Madden Vulcan.
But I hear you guys on that 100%. But that very same Kurz who fought Vulcan is the same one that Lion fought and was bored.
Yeah, shit.
It's also like
Lion
good
was
point.
bored
Same one
and
that-
he was going no hit against that very
That's true.
same Kurz.
And that's the same
All
Lehman
right,
Russ
that's
that
my point.
I guess-
Lion fought.
I guess the best thing is this where we think base Vulcan is though without the 3 revives?
No, this is with the 3 revives.
This is with the 3 revives.
Yeah, no.
Where do we
Without
think
any
Vulcan
revives,
is
I
without
don't have.
them? Because
Without
Loki,
any
if you're-
revives, Perturabo shoots him in the head.
If we think like, because what if we give Korax or
Disastrous.
Angron 3 revives? If we give Korax or Angron 3
Just going
revives,
creative
are they
at this
not
point.
whooping ass to like the
Well,
others?
they're not perpetual, so I don't think it really matters.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
Like,
we-
if we think Vulcan is a high tier, though, if we think Vulcan's a high tier without the 3 revives,
This is with the 3 revive. That's what I'm saying. This,
yeah.
this
But
where
I'm saying
he's
we gotta
placed on
figure
the
out what
list.
this dude is. We gotta see where this dude is without
He's
the
saying we
3
need to
revives.
find
Without-
out who is
without
I don't know if he's
revives?
that weak,
Yeah.
guys, that he's gonna be dropping all the way down.
Yeah,
No,
I don't
he's
think he's
not.
dropping
like
a lot.
that.
I think he's at least like bottom of. I don't think bottom of high tier is crazy without any revives. That's what I'm saying. Do we really think any of the
think
high tier
without- I think
Primarchs with
without-
3 revives is losing bad to like?
I think
any
you
of the
could
others?
argue truthfully this because he's got 3 lives.
Yeah,
and even if
I
Lehman
think
Russ
that's
is
good.
quite strong, I don't know if he's beating a Vulcan. who
3
can just-
live. You're
Yeah,
having to
I
go
just
through a
don't
3
know.
Primarch
Like,
gauntlet, bro.
I
don't think you can go through that.
genuinely just don't know if Vulcan has the feats for it. Like, it's proven that if you're at a certain point of skill, you cannot touch another prime. You can't, right? And I think that Vulcan just doesn't have this skill to hang with Leman Russ. Like because if you want to say it's stamina, why is it stamina? Lion was able to disarm Leman in maybe 1 minute. Why are we saying that it's automatically going to take 3 days for an opponent who's massively slower than Leman and who's also massively less skilled than Leman? In fact, I disagree with the point that Vulcan's helmet is more powerful than a Primarch's breastplate. I don't know how we let that fly by.
I don't know about that.
What
Yeah,
stops
I don't
Leman
know
from
about that.
lopping? What stops Leman from lopping his head off 3 times in a row?
I just
Also,
don't know
I
if
would like
3
to say
revives.
about
All right,
Who's
all right.
gonna pass Leman?
Let's compare like their stats. So we know Leman is faster because he kept up with the Lion, who is one of the fastest Primarchs.
Faster than Kurz.
He's got the skills, but Vulcan is stronger and probably more tanky, and he has 3 lives.
He's not massively stronger because, like I said, the Demon Angron feat just upscales Leman so much. Like,
Well,
there's no. Go ahead.
Vulcan and Ferris are
In-
definitely uphill.
You got to remember, in like Games Workshop is typically very like they typically don't outright say if a Primarch is better than the other, but they did outright say that Vulcan is like the strongest.
The strongest
so-
before they ascended.
And so that has to mean that there is like a significant.
I feel like
Yeah.
even
I don't think so. I think that's.
Bro,
I think
three,
that's- I
it's
think
really
you
just
can't
the 3
explain that.
live. It's the 3 lives.
to be the fastest, but like I don't
That was
think
before
anyone
Khan was
thinks
found.
Fulgrim's going to
Blitzing.
be blitzing the Lion, for example.
And that was before Khan was found, to be fair. The Fulgrim's fastest feat. But again, for me, it's just the 3 lives, bro. I don't see how it's doing it 3 lives so like without making any mistakes that would get him hit by such a hard attack.
Here's,
Without the 3 lives,
Well,
though, I
the
think
Lion
Leman
did
easily
that. The
above.
Lion
So,
did that to Conrad
he-
Kurz.
The Kurz though got 3 lives.
Here's my argument, guys. So these characters can all be Vulcan with 3 lives. Post Stabbing Horse and Fulgrim Lairblade. I don't even need to talk about that. They both have precognition, so they'd be able to foresee his attacks and kill him. The Lion has Ultra Instinct and is one of the best duelists. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Leman Russ kept up with the Lion for 3 days, but he was also disarmed within moments during the Great Wolf fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much comes down to, do you think Leman Russ is that skilled that he could kill Vulcan 3 times just like that?
And if we
I
get
think
if we
I
get
think you
at
have
over
to.
the
I think
field-
if
I mean,
you
the thing
stack
is-
the Lion feat with the Horus feat, who both are just confirmed massively above people in Vulcan's tier.
and if we're going
I
with
I just thought of
Also,
something.
I feel like-
Okay, guys, wait, I just thought of something. Leman Russ fights Magnus the Red in 1,000 Suns, and he beats him, even though there's a lot of context. Vulcan fights Magnus in Fury of Magnus and pretty much loses. Can we
That's not
use,
ridiculous.
Can we use that
Vulcan-
and just? I
Vulcan-
mean, but that's
Vulcan
also
beat
that's
his
only.
ass.
I mean,
that's
I
only
think
one
Leman
life,
hard
though.
counters Magnus.
Well,
That's
I mean,
just
yeah,
one
because
life,
like
though,
also
so I don't
the
know if we
Canis
can use
Helix.
that. That's just one.
But if
fight.
we're really doing skill, if we're valuing skill over extra lives, all I'm saying is we gotta move Angron down and not move Angron down. We gotta put Korax up over Vulcan. Because if we're saying that if you're so skilled and you have enough speed that you can just dodge and weave to the point where 3 lives doesn't matter, Korax has some crazy skill feats and statements. He's gonna weave every single Vulcan hit
I
by
mean,
just jump pack dashing.
I'm saying that Lion and Leman have that feat because Lion explicitly has that feat. I don't know if Korax ever goes.
Yeah.
Like, does he go no hit against Lorgar?
He only gets hit when he's literally like not trying at all. He literally lets Logar hit him because he's talking shit to him.
TJ,
And he was
grab the
able to
passage. Can you
dodge
grab
him.
the passage?
I need to find that shit. Yeah, let me see if I can find that.
That'd
Real
be-
quick, while he's finding that, I just want to say on the topic of what Musty was saying about Vulcan and how physically powerful he is. Even if we did assume that he was like genuinely that physically powerful,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Russ fights against Horus, and obviously, context as per usual in Russ. But the thing is, his senses are keeping him alive in that fight. So against someone who's
100%.
less skilled, like I just think that he could get that off against Vulcan.
Let's go! I'm
I
telling
don't think
you.
that's too crazy.
I don't think that's
actually not too
ridiculous.
crazy. I don't think that's actually that crazy.
Yeah, but 3 times.
Yeah,
yes, 3 times. 3 times.
Yeah,
dude.
because I mean, Horus post Molech. Even if you want to say, well, obviously he's being nerfed to a certain extent. He's probably near post Davin Horus. Okay, maybe even weaker, but it's the same version that no diffed Angron, and Leman Russ is still able to keep up with him and dodge attacks while he's even killing other Sons of Horus guys. I think it's not absolutely insane to say that he's over Vulcan with 3 lives.
Horus is such a bum, bro. Horus is such a bum. Horus literally is like supercharged on chaos and still has to jump Russ. Horus is such a bum, bro. I don't know why y'all root for him.
Well, he's broken. He's stupid. He's got too many statements. TJ, he's got too many statements.
I know. I can understand him being high tier, but I just don't. As a person though, bro, he a bum.
Okay, wait.
Let's
TJ,
get Lion in the top tier.
Oh, really though, gosh. Do you think a nuke is weaker than a strike from Russ?
I don't know, man. Primarch's
well, I'm asking you. Do you think that does Vulcan have any feats of his armor just no selling a Primarch? Because we don't know how other Primarch armors would react to getting nuked.
We also don't know how that nuke is then, because low-key, that means that Mortarion or other people have to hit as hard as nukes.
Because
we've seen that's not true.
Well, does Mortarion land a hit on Vulcan? Or
no.
I mean, I was going to say maybe Conrad has to hit as hard as a nuke, but he's hitting him without armor, so and with power weapons, so.
The thing is that Perturabo and Horus, they could not stop They had to drop a nuke on his ass, on the whole Legion and everyone there.
Is that said explicitly that they could not fight him and they needed to nuke him instead?
I'm pretty damn sure. I think I have it bookmarked.
Well, we already have Purdy and Mortarion over under Vulcan, so I guess that would make sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, Musty. Yeah. I see what the other lads are saying.
Okay, we're get this out of the way. If you're because you're nerfing Vulcan to shit, you got to tell me that right now.
Yeah, no,
we agreed.
I already said that no one on this list has the capabilities to kill Vulcan with his full perpetual power. So if you want to take a screenshot of this screen right now, this is Vulcan with unlimited lives right here. Okay. We're saying
it's not unlimited lives. It's just his ability.
Magnus ain't around, and
his ability is unlimited lives.
Magnus is now a Force Ghost, so he has.
The only person who can stop. The only person who can stop him in the Reddit no more. So.
Yes, he would be number 1, but we're saying with 3 lives, and then his perpetual powers runs out. I think he goes right here. I think that's fair. Do we?
And that doesn't mean that necessarily Vulcan can't beat any of the other people. To be honest,
I'm pretty sure Vulcan has a fight against one of those big war bosses, and they do damage him through the armor. Let me see if I can.
Those war bosses also be
beast,
cracked.
but the beast.
I don't think it's the beast. I don't think it's the beast.
The beast is cracked though. The beast is
the war bosses. The other orc war bosses are also kind of cracked. They're able to not step on Space Marine, but casually crush Space Marines to the point their armor gets atomized. That one Warhammer animation, it literally crushed it.
When does Lord of Drakes takes place? Is that the beast?
No, the beast is from the beast. The beast fight is in the Beast Must Die. That's when that fight is, and in it, Vulcan's getting overpowered, which is pretty crazy because he is the physically strongest Primarch. So I don't think it's a terrible anti-feat that his armor is getting damaged by someone who's stronger than the strongest Primarch, you know?
Well, no, this isn't from Lord of Drake. That's not this one. This is from Lord of Drakes, where he's just fighting a really big war boss. And he is taking damage.
He is taking damage from his armor. Can we quantify his armor?
I mean, it's stated to be the strongest.
I think it's the strongest armor, but I don't think it's massively.
CBK is debating that a Primarch could, in fact, damage his armor. That's what you're.
Obviously, they could damage it. Obviously, and even Primarchs could damage Perturabo's armor. My point is just that, it obviously is adding to their durability. I don't think anybody was arguing Russ would never be able to penetrate through it. Just that it would be harder for him.
Here's the war boss. The orc turned faster, ignoring the gaping wound and using the momentum to swing the hammer around in a lightning strike. Vulcan saw it coming, but this time the attack was too fast. Downscale. He pulled Night Forge, but a mesh of collapsing gears held it fast for a moment. He jerked it free as the hammer smashed into his side. Every blow of the orc's weapon was like being struck by a mechanized wall. The head's whirring chains had teeth as long as a man's finger. They struck out at all angles, and they tore around the hammer's head at blinding speed. The weapon shredded as it crushed, and when the orc bit with full strength, the effect was devastating. Vulcan was moving when the orc hit him, and that allowed him to absorb part of the force of the strike, but the monstrous head crushed the side of his armor and shattered his ribs.
Okay,
So yeah, that dude, he can be harmed by Primarchs.
Yeah, I would agree.
If we want to use any crazy anti-feats, we can low-key just bring up the John Grammaticus thing, and bro got to drop massively.
Yeah,
No, but
that's
he's like-
John,
he goes
though.
into
That's
But he's
John,
insane.
though.
But he's insane during that. So I don't know if you can say base real Vulcan is that much of a bum.
I don't think he was insane during that one. Wasn't that what he was saying? Because that's also like where the Shuriken pistol. Ooh,
No, that's when
vein
he's
of his
isn't that
existence came
Unremembered
from.
Empire?
I don't remember. I think the Shuriken pistol was earlier because the same like there's a person who
No,
it was
I think-
somebody who gave the Shuriken pistol to somebody else too.
No, I think that's
Shuriken
that's
pistol.
from Deimos and John, right? Killing Vulcan. I think
Fucking
that's
no.
Unremembered Empire, so he was insane.
It might be different things. Yeah, the Shuriken pistol might just be earlier then because I remember when it was the Shuriken pistol, like he had Space Marines with him too. So
Okay.
He's also getting overpowered by this war boss here. I don't know
I
if
mean,
these are
orcs
correct,
are
but
insane. No, or they have insane strength. Like that's not too crazy because
Yeah, everyone will
orcs' main
guess.
stat is like orcs' main strength is their physical strength. That's not really crazy.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any orc alive that's overpowering Demon Angron except for the
I mean,
like,
they've overpowered
Vulcans.
bloodthirsters.
Right, but bloodthirsters are able to contend with dread knights, and Angron physically overpowers those. Like Vulcan's holding this hammer back, and he's like, my arms are on the verge of breaking. I don't think Vulcan's massively more durable or massively stronger than the Primarchs. He's the strongest, and his armor is the most durable, but it's not to the point where Lehman can't shove his sword through his chest.
Yeah, so do we think that this is good? I think this is like
I don't think it's
perfect.
crazy.
I think there's a couple mix arounds. Like you could obviously argue this again, like this right
I don't
here.
think it's mix around. I just think it's a matchup. Like we're trying to get as close to their raw like power, but it's not crazy to say that like any people in between 3 tiers of each other could beat somebody else.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's crazy to say Fulgrim has the chance to beat Vulcan, or like Korax has the chance to beat Vulcan with 1 life, or like Fulgrim could do good versus Angron, but or be better versus like Lion than Angron would, but still be lower down. Like it's all
Yeah.
matchups. But
Like
this
these
is the closest we
these
can get to their
four,
raw
like,
power.
in the back here are so close to each other. Like these guys are actually incredibly close, and then the con is just so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jagatai is 12th. That's crazy. 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th.
I think you can move the Lion up in the top. I'll say it. I don't think that the
What's your-
layer blade gives enough of a physical because here's the thing. All we have it's one question that settles whether or not Fulgrim with the layer blade beats Lion.
Okay.
Do you think the layer blade is a bigger amp than Demonic Ascension?
That's a tough part because once he gets the blade, even if you want to argue that Ferris is surprised, he easily overpowers him, and he's a top 2 Primarch.
He overpowers him, but never forget that Ferris is like he's exhausted. He has no juice in him, and he got surprised.
Yeah, but unironically,
Fulgrim went all the way back up to full strength.
we've unironically seen Fulgrim's best feats when he has the layer blade instead of when he's Demon Primarch, and 30k at least. 40k Demon Primarch Fulgrim's probably obviously stronger than layer blade Fulgrim, but 30k Demon Primarch Fulgrim, low key, he performed better in most of his fights with the layer blade instead of when he was Demon Primarch. You could also argue
Well,
it's
it's
the
not
same
about
thing
the
with Morty.
performance. I'm talking surly stats
He's
because
talking pure
Angron,
strength.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stat wise,
Angron's
pure
stronger
stat.
than Fulgrim in base, and then he gets the demonic ascension on top of that, and Lion's able to parry his blows with just his sword.
That's what
So
I'm also
do you
saying.
think that
Stat
Layer Blade
wise,
Fulgrim is physically superior to Daemon Angron?
that's what I'm saying. Stat wise, fucking Fulgrim was said to have reached like full potential or some shit with the layer blade to the point like it massively was buffing him, even low key comparably to how Demon Fulgrim was doing. Like he seemed to have better stats with the layer blade than even the Demon Ascension.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure, but do you think that it's to the point where he's as strong as Demon Angron?
I don't.
It's debatable.
It's debatable.
I guess it's just how you want to take Purdy's words. Like Purdy was able to tank Demon Angron, but he was like scared of Fulgrim and shit.
Oh,
with the
weakened
layer blade.
Angron though. He had to shoot.
Yeah, he did
True,
have to
true,
shoot
true.
so much
He was
fire and
actively
artillery.
shrinking during their fight. So it's
True.
just tough, but I just don't. I don't see
Also, the
how-
psychic Fulgrim also has the psychic set. So
Well, not with the
that's
layer
also
blade
the-
actually. That's
Well,
like
that's
post
really
possession.
oh,
Yeah,
That's-
it's just
Damn.
stats.
It's literally just a
And I-
stat booster, but I see what you're
and
saying,
lock-in
CBK,
boost.
but I just don't see how the Lion would
We would also have to move
contend with-
Sengi up,
with-
wouldn't we?
Well, think about it like this. Think about it like this. Let me put this last little piece in.
All right.
His Ultra Instinct did not activate against that. He wasn't actually put in that fight. You know, Angron hits him one time.
Yeah, he throws a tank at him, right?
Well, he had two times. He
Two times,
throws a
two
tank
tanks,
at him,
yeah.
and he kicks him in the chest. But outside of that, he never actually lands a blow on.
Well,
Right?
here's
And
my
Lion's Ultra Instinct didn't activate.
here's my counter
Well, I
question.
think it didn't activate because he wasn't trying to win as a duelist, you know? Like against Kurz, he was actively trying to win against
Yeah,
him. Like
Angron's moving like Hulk, throwing shit at him.
Yeah, so here's my counter question, ZBK. I feel like the Lion was not straight up like fighting or fencing for like an extended period of time. He was more like evading and maneuvering, and he did trade blows a couple times, but he wasn't trying to stay in a head-to-head fight for long because I don't think he knew he could not prevail in like a head-on-head fight, so he was trying to evade and outmaneuver him. And I think
Do you also think
Yeah,
the shield is
Angron
basically
does break
equivalent to
through his
Ultra
guard.
Instinct?
using physical strength.
And do we
I
also
don't know
think-
if I would say it's equivalent because
The shield is like as much of a boost as the Ultra Instinct. In
well, I'm
that
saying he
fight.
could have both. Like if he like functionally he can all do it. So there was a point in that where he could have just like never gotten hit by Angron's blows. But throughout the fight, it's less of him. He runs 100%. But there's multiple instances in the fight where they're just going toe to toe, and Angron's not able to physically overpower the Lion. Like there's the point of them clashing weapons as they go back and forth. But then there's moments like the Lion fought with every iota of skill he possessed, channeling all those lessons he had ever learned about combating wild and warp-tainted beasts. For his part, Angron felt little behind the pounding of the nails. He dimly recognized him. But throughout all of that, the demigods fought their way across the mechanical plateau where piston columns pounded maniacally and jets of white-hot flame erupted from the apertures. Anytime that it says the two of them are just fighting, that means he's not using the shield. Because every time Angron hits the shield, it makes a loud noise, a white light, and he gets thrown backwards. So there's multiple instances of them being like they're just fighting, they're fighting.
okay,
Which means that
yeah.
go ahead.
It's really Sengi.
I see what you
Do we
mean.
think he's above Sengi?
No, but
Like above
here's
Sengi
my
to-
here's my counter argument. We have other multiple fights with Demon Primarchs. So we have Corvus Corax versus Lorgar. And it doesn't seem like Lorgar's that much stronger, at least physically, than Corax. We also have Mortarion versus the Khan. And the Mortarion isn't like vastly stronger physically. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if Demon Primarch Angron is that strong physically, if that makes sense.
I mean, I can give a quantification. I don't want to get too nerdy
Because of
into
are you talking about the Warhound Titan?
Yeah, the Warhound Titan I think is only like 300 tons, and then as a Demon Primarch, he's able to shoulder check and move something that's described as a hab block, which is like an apartment complex. Like that's tens of thousands of tons. So he's Angron at the very least has gotten the biggest stat amp, at least in strength, than any of the others, because that's
Yeah.
demonstrably massively more
Yeah.
powerful.
It's also just fucking weird because like Loki, they be inconsistent as hell with the weight and the speed. Like Fulgrim, some of the times Fulgrim was described running, he's been faster than we've seen the Khan move with just his running and combat speed. And we've also seen like some of the Primarchs do crazy strength stuff for things that logically, like with the calc, should be
Yeah.
a lot stronger. But then
Yeah.
we see them struggling to lift stuff that's with the calcs weaker.
Yeah, it's
Like it's
just,
low. Like the strength stuff for them is low-key wildly inconsistent. That's why they have to tell us Vulcan and Ferris are the two strongest, even though we don't see them move stuff that crazy. Because if we were going off just the feats, the Angron low-key would be the strongest. But we know
Yeah.
Ferris is said to like have the strength to level mountains or some shit. But we don't really see them lifting anything heavy.
Yeah,
It's really just word of mouth with it.
I mean, Vulcan did lift the walls of the Imperial
Palace? The hell?
yeah in the when he was being tortured by Kurz, he to save he recreated it, the walls. Remember when like it was gonna crush the civilians?
Are you talking about Vulcan
And-
Lives?
Yeah.
He made the entire Imperial Palace.
I don't know if
wall.
that's
Oh,
like a
just a
replica.
wall.
I don't know if it's like a
No,
replica,
no,
like a
just
complete
wall.
one-to-one
Well,
replica.
a wall should still be massively below an entire hab block. Like that's an apartment complex.
Yeah.
I see
That's what I'm
you're-
saying. Like that's
I
a
s-
gigantic feat.
I see what you're saying, ZBK, but I just don't know, man. Like I see what you're saying.
It's a little bit more than just even strength too, because Fulgrim also seemed to got better reflexes, skills, and he made up for the one weakness Fulgrim has. The one thing that Lion always has over Fulgrim: focus. Fulgrim has shown that in raw skill, he's one of the best, but he's a little bit of a tweaker. He don't be locked in, he don't be
Well,
focused.
he's
Lion
still
will
not
lock
Lion
you.
level because Lion has a
Actually,
level of
when-
focus beyond his regular level. He can go super focus too. So
That's
he
what I'm saying, but
by
like
that logic.
Fulgrim now has an insane like raw skill and talent. Plus, he actually has good focus now.
And he can
Plus,
regenerate.
better reflexes.
And he can
Yeah,
regenerate.
regenerate.
Can he
better
regenerate from his
speed.
head being cut off?
I see what you're saying, ZBK, but I'm going to
I don't
leave
know if Lions would have enough
Blairblade
speed.
at-
No!
I'm sorry.
That would hurt, didn't it?
That
It's
would
fine,
hurt.
bro. Lions
Hey,
still.
hey,
Hey, I got
Lions still-
Lehman up.
Yeah,
I got
Lehman
Lehman
over
up, and I
here.
can accept that.
I got Korax up, bro.
Yeah.
Teleports
Honestly,
behind you.
Can
Teleports
we just-
behind you and stabs you in the back.
Can we talk about the time Vulcan suplexed the Beast?
The beast is cracked, but like,
I know.
I
I,
think
no,
Beast.
no. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying I think that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? That is cool.
That is quite cool.
I think it's cool. As fuck.
I
also
I-
apparently
so I-
Vulcan
Yeah.
can apparently do good versus that Psyker, but he can't do good versus Madness, bro.
Well, you know, I'm really because we're gonna do this whole series. Like, I think what era should we do next? That's like my question. Like, should we do Imperium Secundus or the Shadow Crusade next? Like, what do you think would be work chronologically where we can fit more forms in? Maybe after Moloch, because then we could get Horus in there. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. When do
Horus is
most
gonna
of
be
the
easy, though.
ascensions take place?
Probably like maybe before Beta Garmon. So I guess
Yeah,
we could
because
just
I feel like at this point, a lot of the boosts in strength will be so marginal. We'll be like, yeah, Perturabo's 10% stronger.
well, it's like
So
so.
ironically, is Demon Prince Head like more than a maximum 2 times increase?
Well, I feel like Demon Primarch Hood is like a sidestep. It's like a shortcut in the Primarch
Yeah.
evolution. So
It's
like
like
you're,
the dog side.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like literally the Star Wars dark side where you're gaining like momentarily more powerful or power, but if you were to just wait and awaken your actual Primarch powers, you would be stronger. Like we see with
Which
Corvus
I think
Corax
the only
and-
people we've seen is like Lion and Korax. So I feel like low key Lion might have
I
he
feel
unlocked
like-
his Forest Walk and his Ultra Instinct.
I
I
feel like
feel
the
like
Lion
he's
still
kind of
hasn't.
maxed out his skill tree.
I don't know if the Lion's there yet. Like he didn't even use Ultra.
He's gonna
Instinct
turn
against-
into a
really?
lion.
Yeah, dude.
He
Oh my
can't
God.
like Corvus has control over turning into a demon. Lion literally has never used that. instinct thing ever. Like I don't think he has control of that yet.
Once he gets control over that and his force walk, though, I think that's when he's maxed up. Korax has like his evil shadow assets. I don't know. Russ is gonna become like a super primordial psyker.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I can't wait! I can't wait!
Okay, so one last question before we end this, because I honestly, guys, I'm really proud of us. I think we did a great job. I think we were very unbiased, and I think we made a great tier list here. I have like no complaints. What do you think?
Yeah. There's obviously going to be the caveats. As I think some people obviously beat some people above them, but that's like any tier list. But
yeah,
I think like
you
from a pure power,
some things are just matchup.
Yeah,
some of these are just matchups.
You can't always rank people by who beats who. You can't always rank them like that.
So here's my last question before we end this. Do we think the line with fully awakened powers and the shield can beat End in the Death Sanguinius, who's moving at the speed of light?
I think
that's in the warp though. I don't feel like that's fair quantum because Lion's not fighting in the warp. Like Sangi doesn't move like that any other time, not just because of the power thing, but because they're in the warp. Like we've seen it commented on the other Primarchs that they can move crazy fast, but their armor literally starts to break apart. Like Korak's jump pack propels him so fast that he has to limit its speed, or else his armor would literally start to break at like a molecular level or some bullshit. Like literally, I think if we put Lion in the warp, then he probably also could move at the speed of light, and then it gets a bit.
Do you think he would have his? So what would you think? So we've already seen that Ultra Instinct beats Precog. So would that actually mean the Lion is stronger than Sanguinius at the end stage naturally?
I think so. I think
Sanguinius reached his potential in the Siege.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right.
We've seen Sangi's max potential at the Siege. He got it awakened way faster. He had his fucking hockey bloom versus Horus, bro. He had his hockey bloom versus Horus and reached his max level faster than like Korax or Lion. But we haven't seen the max potential of Korax fully or Lion.
Well,
like they still are learning it. So and from the small bits we have seen, they definitely have the potential to either be maybe above that level or at least at that level. I don't know if we can say he's way above, like either of them are above, but they're definitely getting close to that level where they're pulling off like crazy ass feats versus the demon Primarchs and greater.
The reason I give it to Lion is because Horus does fight Sanguinius as base Horus versus like fully realized Sanguinius, and it's not a stomp. Like it is not a stomp. I think
actually know that it's just straight up base Horus. Or do
he says he fought him. He fought him as a Primarch.
Yeah, he cast away his power, then started slowly getting like it back. So
shit, I gotta.
For a bit, he was fighting base
to die against Horus, though.
True. Yeah, but like for a bit, he was fighting base Horus until he was getting his power back, and then he kind of cooked his ass. But he was fighting base Horus for a bit, and he was holding out.
Yeah. All right. Well, fellas, we got post Davin Horus.
Wait, where does Silent King go on this list?
Oh, he's over all of them.
Yeah, let's relax, everybody.
That's my Pookie.
Force Ghost.
No, I thought he waited Force Ghost.
Yeah, but why is his mini so bad though?
I don't know, man. It looks so bad. Yeah, okay, but I have to go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna do the final ranking. Post Davin 1, Lairblade Fulgrim 2, Sanguinius 3, Lionel Johnson 4, Conrad Kurz 5, Lehman Russ 6, Angron 7, Vulcan 8th, Conrad Kurz 9th, Fulgrim 10th, Ferris Manus with a Fireblade 11th, Jagatai Khan 12th, Perturabo 13th, Mortarion 14th, Rogaldorn 15th, Alfarius 16th, Lorgar with his Slight Awakening 17th, Gilliman 18th, Possessed Fulgrim 19th, Lorgar 20th, Base Lorgar, Base Omegon 21, and Force Ghost, Poop Ethereal Form Magnus last. I think this is a pretty damn good tier list.
Twice, by the way.
I did.
I think you said Conrad twice.
That's fine. It's fine. Thank you to all the amazing cows that helped me with this. Jay, ZBK, Musty, TJ, and Crabzilla.
Ooh.
You guys are the best. They will be featured in more power scaling rankings because they are the best.
Just wait until that War of Heaven. That's where stuff go get deep.
Yeah. We're gonna be doing a lot more rankings, so stick around, fellas. I hope you enjoyed this one, and thank you to these power scaling wonders right here.